and welcome to a new video. Today I am continuing my One Piece journey and I have decided that I'm going to try to do some arc videos instead of doing one omnibus every video, just because I thought about it. The people seem interested in that, but that obviously means that these videos are going to be super much longer, but at the same time it would be the same, just that I kind of bring them all together in one video. So the last arc I finished was before this one, obviously, and that was Skypiea, so that means that my next arc is Water 7, which I'm just following what it says like on the omnibuses, so it seems to be 4 of them. If it runs a bit short or a bit longer than the actual chapters in these 4, we will survive. So I'm going to cover most of Water 7 in this video, which runs from volume 34 to 40. Yay! They are so blue because water, I hope, at least, and I'm very excited. Actually, before deciding to do arc videos, I have actually already read 34, 35, and 36. So obviously I will insert that here and cut out the parts where I start the video and end the video, and then continue now with the next one I actually need to start. So yeah, we're gonna try this out. I have also considered if instead of updating you every chapter, I update you after every volume, but I literally will feel like I will forget everything that's happened then. And besides, it's like almost the same. I don't even know if it would be the same. Enjoy me reading through 34, 35, and 36. You should see me very soon. The last thing that happened is that we're in this challenge thing with this other Foxy pirate crew, and then they steal a person from the other team every time they lose or win. And then they lost Chopper, got Chopper back, and now in the last challenge with Luffy against the other captain, and he's losing a bit. And then I think they might get a carpenter out of this. They were looking for someone, so let's hope they actually get something out of this. It feels a bit like a filler, but it's okay. Volume 34 is called The City of Water, Water 7, and we are on chapter 317, which is KO, whatever that is. And I guess I don't really have that much more to say, so let's start reading and I will let you know what happens. Yay! Okay, so we basically just wrap up the fight between Luffy and the other captain of the other ship. I don't remember his name. Maybe I could check. Foxy, the silver fox. First, it looks like he's losing because like he falls down but keeps getting back up, and then like this mirror shard falls out of his hair, and then they're counting down. I think he's holding him down. What is even going on? They're counting down, and I think like like if you are down on the ground, they count down like a boxing match. But then he tries to get back up, but Luffy gives him one last punch, and then he wins. And everyone's like, oh, shock, because it was a long fight. I'm like, how could Luffy beat all those other powerful people? We can't beat this one dude. But maybe he is powerful. It just seemed like the way that they are presented is very like humoristic. I can't take them seriously, but maybe they're as powerful as others. And it just didn't feel like it. So now we're on chapter 218, which is Closure. Okay, as Luffy won, he could choose anyone from the ship to take. And then he had 3 different carpenters, and he chose 0 of them. He said, if I get what I want, I will forget why I fought in the first place. And he chooses the Jolly Roger. Sorry. And I was like, what is that? I can be a bit slow. Apparently, the Jolly Roger is like the flag of their symbol. And I like, but how can we fly without our symbol? And Luffy's like, well, I will make you a new one, which is terrible. And he gives the Jolly Roger to like the dude that lived on the island, who like was reunited with his horse in the last one. I don't remember his name. Does it say Tonjit? It says. I think like he can then find maybe the other islanders with this flag. I'm not sure. And then suddenly this dude shows up, and then he recognized Robin, who seems very shocked. And then it says that his name is Admiral Aokiji of the Navy headquarters, and then the chapter ends. And the next chapter is 219. Admiral Aokiji of the Navy headquarters. So that's the name of the next chapter. So I guess we're gonna maybe find out who this is or something. I don't know. Let's go. I love the added bits to this. It's just very like, it's a lot of things going on. How to describe things. Okay, so he's one of the admirals in Navy headquarters. There's only 3 admirals that carries his title, and there's only one above that again, who's the leader of the whole fleet, and Aokiji is one of them. And he says that he's not there to arrest them, even though Luffy does want to attack him because he's part of the Navy. And like the old dude that's there and has been there for 10 years is like, well, isn't it good that he's the Navy? And they're like, oh yeah, we forgot that the Navy is usually the good guys, while Luffy and them are theory the bad guys because they are pirates. And he says he can help the old dude who wants to see his friends who is 3 islands over, but he has a herd of horse and don't really have a ship. And then he just freezes the whole ocean. That will last for a week. And then the dude can just ride off on like a carriage thing with his horse. The horse is lying on the carriage. And through the ocean, because he has eaten the chili fruit. And then he just have frozen powers. But yeah, he said he wanted to see them because he was looking for Robin, because he wondered what happened to her after Alabasta. And now he's seen her, and now he says, well, but maybe I changed my mind. Maybe you guys had better die now, because, you know, he's a Navy officer and should maybe arrest them. So we should see if they actually breaks into a fight, or if he would change his mind again, because apparently he's lazy. He also says that Luffy is just like your Gramps, Monkey D. Luffy. So obviously I know that his grandpa is like one of the admirals, because, well, we have met him in the live action. That was spoiled for me, and I didn't know at the time. But I know that. But yeah, he had cool powers, really cool personality. But they said it was 3 admirals, and I thought his grandpa was an admiral, and I don't remember his name of the people here. Maybe he's not an admiral, because the ones we have mentioned right now of the admirals was Aokiji, which is obviously the dude that's there. Akainu, which is apparently Red Dog, and Kizaru, which is Yellow Monkey. But didn't, like, Luffy's grandfather have, like, a Ross, like a sea tiger hat? I don't remember. But then there's also the Fleet Admiral, which is Sengoku. I don't think that is his grandpa. I don't actually remember his name. I feel like none of those were his name, but I thought he was an admiral. I don't know, but I guess we'll find out eventually, maybe soon, maybe this, since it has now been mentioned. Love the little hints there and here. So we have 320 ultimate military force. So maybe Aokiji will show off his powers, or maybe they will just go on. Who knows? Okay. So what happens is that Aokiji tells the story of Robin and says that, like, she's been on many different crews. She has been a wanted woman since she was like 8, and says she's more trouble than she's worth, and that there was always something that happens with her crews, but she always survives. He like rides her up a lot, and then she attacks him with her hand thingies, and he stops it by like freezing all of them. And then obviously he tries to go after her, and Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro attacks him. They all get like parts of them frozen and get basically owned super easily, which stresses me out. And then he goes after Robin and like freezes her whole body and says that she will be fine if she like unfreezes, but not if you hit her like this, because then she will break. And then tries to hit her. Luffy saves her, and then he tries to hit her again. Usopp saves her, and then Usopp and Chopper's gonna take her back to the ship, and he tries to stop them, but then Luffy's like, no, you're gonna fight me, let's take this and this between me and you, because obviously Sanji and Zoro tries to help, and also Nami tried to help. And then Aokiji says, that's fine, but I don't have a ship to take you back with me, so I would just have to kill you here. And yeah, he has cool frozen powers, but I do not like them getting on so easily. It stresses me out loads. But obviously they will, I think, upgrade their powers as we go through the series. But yeah, obviously they didn't want Nico Rama to be hurt because she's part of the crew. But I do wonder about her past, and I thought it was interesting that it came back now in a way. Okay, chapter 321. 321, huh? 1-on-1. Okay. So, a very dramatic chapter. Everyone is very upset and very stressed that Robin is frozen, and I tried everything to heat it up in the shower, etc, etc, etc. Oh, just literally stressing the heck out, and everyone is screaming at each other. And then obviously Sanji and the others like left Luffy because he wanted 1-on-1, and they're like, you cowards, why did you leave him? And they're like, it was captain's orders, so we do what he says. And then like Luffy like loses in a second, but then Aokiji says that maybe he did this on purpose. He said, I agree to a 1-on-1, so that means if I win, that's it. Isn't that so? If I lay a hand on the other side, we break my word, right, Captain? So, like, maybe he said a 1-on-1 thing because he knew they couldn't win. And then, like, well, if Luffy was defeated, he couldn't hurt the others. Or did he actually think he was going to win? We don't know. But it was kind of cute. And then he just said, like, oh, but the woman is more than you can handle. And he said it was also a message from Smoker, but he didn't bother saying it, so he left. And then obviously the others came and got Luffy, and they're heating them up, and they're both waking up in like the sick beds. We see Robin wake up very ominously, so is she gonna leave them or something? I don't know. But they're all sleeping, they're all resting. It's been some hard days. So now we're going to 322, which is Puffing Tom. Isn't like Puffing Tom the like thing where they take down the houses to the pigs? Am I in the wrong fairy tale? I don't know, but let's see. Okay, so they are just chilling a bit. Luffy jokes about almost dying by freezing to death. And then they see this huge like frog in the ocean and they want to hunt it down to eat it. And then this train on the ocean, which is called Puffing Tom, shows up and they're like, that's impossible. This cannot run on water. But apparently there is like rails underneath the ocean, underneath the water, in the water. How do you say it? Not underneath the water. I mean, it's in the water. You get what I mean. And there's this young girl and her granny working / living there. And then they're just like, hey, this frog always shows up and it doesn't die. It just keeps crashing into us. And then it seems like the next like place to go is City of Water, or like Water 7, which is obviously the name of this arc. But also the Navy dude didn't know they were going there. And he says, oh, it's decided we're going and we're going to find a carpenter to join our crew. So yeah, I guess we are on the way there, because the next chapter is called chapter 323, which is the City of Water, Water 7. So I assume they are gonna get there. Let's see if are they gonna take the train? No, they're sailing. Okay, let's see. Okay, we already arrived, which I felt like was really fast, because we usually use a very long time getting places. We are in the City of Water. First, people tell them to dock somewhere else, like twice, because they are pirates. And they're looking for Mr. Iceberg, or Miss Iceberg, which is like a crew of people, or like people that repair ships. And like, when they try to dock, it looks like the whole mast is falling off Mary, because like the ship is in bad shape. City of Water is like built with the foundations on the ground, and it has like a huge fountain in the middle. It seems really cool. And then we switch over to like Galila Company, Water 7 shipbuilding firm, purveyors to the world government, and like someone refused to pay, and then like they beat that person because they thought it was too expensive to pay for their repairs. So that's our introduction to them. So maybe we find someone there that would join the group. Let's see. But we are on chapter 224, Adventures in the City on the Water. So they are all to explore. We have Nami, Luffy, and Usopp together, and they need to kind of hire like this boat thing that like goes in like I was gonna pass around the whole city, which is obviously made of water, which is the easiest way to move around. The dude of force wants to charge them 2,000 berries, but then sees all the treasure because Luffy shows us off, and then wants like 1 million berry. And they want to find like an exchange place, but then they need to go to like the main shopping street of the town, which basically is our opportunity to see them. I was gonna say boat around, sail around. I don't know. What do you say when you're on a boat but it doesn't sail? I have forgotten the words. They are floating in the boat around in the town, and then eventually arrive at the main street. And then a dude says that like the pride of the town is like their carpenters and like the boat building crew, and Luffy says he's excited to meet them. We have Sanji and Zoro left at the ship. Robin and Chap went out together, and then Sanji says he's boring to be with Zoro alone, so he goes off as well. And then Zoro is left with the ship alone, and then we see like the last scene is like they thought he was asleep. And then, like, they try to attack Zoro, and he's like, who are you? Identify yourself. So it seems like someone tried to kind of rob or take over the ship, unless there's something else completely. I think Zoro can handle it. I think it's fine. Chapter 325, The Frankie Family. Let's see. Okay, so Zoro just punches them all away. Whoosh, whoosh, they're gone. That was too busy. He's like, stupid idiots. And then we have Luffy and them arriving at the exchange rate place, and the dude wants to give them 100 million berries, and Nami's like, no. And then they end up with 300 million berries, and the first thing Luffy does is almost lose 100 of them in the ocean. But yeah, they're so rich now. 300 million berries. That's insane. The Skypiea goal was worth a lot. And then they go over to the ship dock place, where they're gonna obviously talk to a repair dude. And we have a dude there who has a square nose. And then they say they want to talk to Mr. Iceberg. This is Kaku, by the way. And then he's like, okay, I will go assess your ship, because they did get, he got that they want to repair the ship. And then he just like jumps up into the air and flies out. He said he will be back in 10 minutes. He's a Galila Dock 1 Carpenter foreman. Kaku is like super, super dramatic. They say they call him Mountain Wind. He looked really cool. It almost felt like we were in My Hero Academia for a moment. He's gonna go and check the ship and they can finally repair it. And I have lots of money. I have a feeling they will lose money and it stresses me out. I want them to actually have money for once. Okay, chapter 226, Mr. Iceberg. And also he said that Mr. Iceberg is like the president of the firm Galila company, and he also managed the sea train, and he's the president there. He's super busy and like he does everything in the city. I hope he's good and not a villain, because it also sounds bad that one person can control anything, but I hope he's like the exception of the rule. I hope. We shall see. Other things is going on, so I forgot to mention 2 things earlier. First of all, we've seen people go around in masks and see it to be some kind of carnival, but maybe there's another reason for people having to wear the masks. And then also, we saw Robin with Chap earlier, and Chap wanted to go in the bookstore, but then Robin disappeared. There was someone who whispered something to her, and then she was off, and now we don't know where she is. We see Sanji in a moment here in the beginning looking for Robin and Chopper. I don't know if he actually like found them before, but he like can't find them. We also meet Mr. Iceberg, who seems like a spoiled brat. He has lots of appointments and he's like, I don't want to do them. And then they cancel all of them. And they are like, whoa, you're irresponsible little spoiled brats. And then the secretary of his, Khalifa, attacks them for a moment because she got upset that they insulted him. But then he says he will repair the ship, and like they're like, oh, that was super easy, because Kokoro had written the old lady, granny lady on the train, had said, check out the ship for them. That was it. That was all she wrote on the note. And then we have the family earlier that tried to rob the ship, taking like 2 of the suitcases with the money, so 200 million berry. And it seems like they got away. I honestly don't even know if they got away. If someone come out, Pauline, which is Dark One's rigging and mass foreman, one of like the people in a company, coming out and stop them. But I honestly don't know. Did he actually stop them or not? I'm not sure actually. But can they not get robbed after like 4 seconds of getting the money? It stresses me out, please. So we have chapter 227, which is Shipbuilding Island Repair Dock number 1. So that's the repair dock we are on. Let's see what else happens. There's a lot of like characters and new people right now, so it takes a bit time for me to, I was gonna say, settle in. Oh, there's so many characters right now. So the dude who like saved the money was working for the shipyard, and then another dude comes and stops him because he tries to take the money for himself. He says a lot of gambling and that, but then one of the other people from the shipyard stops him and they fight and they have like a talking bird. So like there's something going on there. I do not remember their names, and I don't know if how relevant they will be here, so I'm just gonna forget about the names right now. And then they actually open like the doors to the shipyard. It looks incredible. It's like huge, enormous, and Luffy's talking about what they want to do with the Mary, that like they want to upgrade the roofs and get cannons and blah 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 blah, and he's super excited. Usopp also disappears. We don't know where he is for a moment. And then they're like, I'm sorry to say, but I assessed your ship. Like the dude who jumped comes back and says so. And says that the Mary is so damaged, it will never sail again. And they all look heartbroken. And now I'm like, is this a scam? Do they say this because they want to keep like the good parts to like sell on? Or like scam them so they will build them a new ship that is worse or something to get more money? Or is it actually true? But they all look really shocked and sad that the Mary might never sail again. But I'm unsure if it's true. I don't trust. And I feel like in this kind of utopia place, I don't like the look of it. And I feel like it's not going to go well here. Because everyone seems to love this dude, but I'm like, but he's terrible. So why are they loving him? I don't get it. But we are going to volume 35, which is called Captain. And now we finally have all the characters here on the side. So that I can't remember the names. I will try to my best. The dude who like took the money from the other dude was Rob. And then Pauline was a dude who like saved the money but wanted to take it for himself. And then we shall see how it goes. So we are on chapter 328, the pirate abduction incident. Who's gonna get abducted? I can't even say the word. Is it Usopp because he just disappeared? I don't know. And also, where's Robin? We don't know. So let's see. Okay, so some people from like Navy headquarters show up and they're like, hey, we smell pirates, but they want to talk to Mr. Iceberg, but we don't really know about what. Meanwhile, Luffy and Nami are hiding, and I feel like the suitcases are super light. And all the money inside is gone. And also Usopp was also taken by like the family, the Frankie family. And then like obviously Nami runs off without Luffy to take like the 100 million they have left to the ship so it will be safe before they go to the Frankie family, and she wants to bring Zoro with her. And then we see her, like, I see a crowd, and then she sees Usopp lying on the ground really hurt, and then he's like, I'm too ashamed to face the others, I lost all the money, and she's like, don't worry, we will get it back. So I like that she didn't blame him, obviously. Feeling bad that he was super sad. But I didn't understand how she lost Luffy, though, because she was literally standing beside him, and then she just was suddenly in a boat without him. I'm like, how did you not bring him? The dude, the Iceberg, did not want to talk to the Navy dudes, but we don't really know how that conversation went either. We have chapter 229. My name is Frankie, and I think they're all gonna go over there to get their money back, etc. So we're fighting this Frankie family, but I think my theory is that they're gonna realize that they are the good ones, maybe, and then Iceberg is the bad one, but that's just me. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and Mr. Iceberg is a good guy. It is so dramatic. Earlier, also, by the way, in the last chapter, they did explain why they couldn't fix the ship. And like that every ship is unique, and that even if they rebuilt a new ship, it would never be the same, Mary. But Luffy is insistent that they can fix it. So let's see if they can. But that's not important right now. So Nami leaves Usopp where he is because she can't move him because he's so hurt. So she goes back to the ship, and like the others see her. We don't actually get the whole way she explains what happened, which is kind of a good thing because we don't need a repeat of everything all the time. And then we have Usopp actually going to the house, the Frankie house, alone, and he's like, give back the money, la 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 la. And they obviously own him because he's all alone, and there's like a whole family there that attacks him. And then we switch over to like Sanji and Chopper and Zoro, where like Usopp's supposed to be, and he's not there. Luffy shows up out from the water. He had almost drowned, but they're like, he says that he was looking for Usopp, and then now they're all at the house together, and they found Usopp outside super hurt. He's still alive, and Chopper say he can save him, but he's unconscious completely. He's like super hurt. They all four of them like very dramatically goes towards the house and say, we are gonna go and demolish that ridiculous house. They are not happy. They hurt one of them, so they are not happy. Oops. So chapter 330, it's decided. So they go into this other house, and there's like a bunch of like people in the Frankie family, and they're like 4 people. They get owned, they get demolished. Like honestly, like all of them have the, like their kicking moment and slashing moment, and Luffy punching moment. They literally own them to pieces, and they say that we don't even have the money anymore. Like Frankie went off to spend it on the black market, and they're like, we don't care about the money anymore. We're gonna break every bone in your body. And I'm like, okay. And then they are, after defeating them all, they're like, do we find the money? What are we gonna do? And then Luffy says he has decided to say farewell to the merry-go, and they are like, super shocked. So the next chapter is actually called, it's number 331, and it's the big argument. Are they gonna argue about keeping the ship or not? Or is it another argument? I don't know, but let's see. Okay, so I did not like this chapter because they were literally arguing. Usopp and Zara are gonna give up the ship because that's what Luffy decided, and he's like, you can't just leave it behind, I will fix it. It's just because I lost the money, and Luffy's like, it's nothing to do with you losing the money, but like, it can't sail anymore. And he's like, no. And then Luffy starts like fighting him and says, all right then, if you don't want to like the way of me doing things, you can just take this opportunity to do. And then Sanji kicks him before he can finish his sentence. Don't say something you won't regret. Both Sanji and Nami and Zoro tries to keep them from fighting. And then Usopp does say he quits the crew and is gonna leave. Then Usopp says, I can't follow you anymore, so to Mr. Sherburden, you're the captain, this ship belongs to you, so fight for me, for her. If I win, I'm taking merry-go. Monkey D. Luffy, fight me. So yeah, the next chapter is called 332, Luffy versus Usopp, and I don't like it at all. Okay, so they fight. Usopp is very serious. He uses different attacks on Luffy and says he knows he can't give him like a moment to react. So he uses like many different attack stuff on him. Chopper had also gone after Usopp to heal him, but he had told Chopper to go back to the ship because they're not shipmates anymore. And it looks like there's this huge explosion. It almost looks like Luffy is beaten. He lies there, looks super sad. But I don't know, he didn't get a chance to fight back. Does he want to fight back? I don't know. Is he doing all this on purpose to motivate Usopp to find his courage? Or is this actually serious? I don't know. But yeah, then we get a flashback of them like being super happy under Mary and seeing an island together. And then the chapter ended. So now we have 333, Captain. Who, huh? Luffy? Or Usopp? Or do I just go and cry? I don't know. I don't like this. I think they were actually serious. I'm not okay right now. Like, at all. What is this? So, obviously, when Luffy starts attacking, he wins really fast. He said there was no way you could beat me, which is true. And then he hits like Usopp where he was already hurt. He said like you can do whatever you want with the Mary. And then Chopper wants to go and heal him, but Sanji stops him because like even if you're kind, think about what I would do to him after you're lost. And they leave the Mary and says that this is it for us. We can never return to the ship. And they say like so long Usopp, and leaves him. It's been fun. And then we also get flashbacks to their friendship at the same time, while Usopp just lies there in defeat. So he did get his ship, but like, is he actually leaving? Like everyone you know has their dreams and journeys. And I assume that if anyone was going to leave, it was either one because they died, or because like their dream was fulfilled and they would stay somewhere. Not like this. I actually thought what happened. I don't know what to say, honestly. Like, is this real? Is that maybe they will all come in trouble in this arc and then Usopp will come and save them and then they will all become friends again? Or will they meet him later in like 600 chapters and he has become like a captain in his own right? Luffy said that this was too hard and they told him that is a burden of being a captain, don't doubt yourself. If you start becoming unsure, who can we have faith in? So they all still obviously follow Luffy, but what is the... I'm very teary right now. I don't want to read more. Chapter 234, Big Trouble in the Secret Room. We see Sanji for a moment lying inside the Mary, just lying there being hurt and sad. And then we have Luffy and the others living in the inn right now and make that a meeting point. Someone of them is going to go out to look for Robin because she's disappeared. And then we find out that Mr. Iceberg was shot last night. And then he's like in a coma right now. And the people in town are always upset because they do really love him. And I don't know why. Luffy's going to go check that out. Robin's going to go with him. And then we have people going to the Frankie house, 3 of them. And they are like very shocked of like the house being destroyed. And then they're like, I get it, it has to be them. So I don't know who you actually think it is. But yeah, we are chapter 335, warning. So we found out that it's the time of the year again called, what was it called again? Aqua Laguna, which means the whole city, the lower parts of the city will be submerged in water. Happens every year. I'm like, won't all your stuff get wet then? But I guess the houses are built to stand this. But Luffy and Nami doesn't know this yet. They are like outside, like where Mr. Iceberg lives. And then Frankie shows up and dances in front of everyone. And he's like, Luffy. And he's like, Frankie, because like he knows that they took the money. And then he knows that Luffy attacked the house. And then we are with Khalifa again, who says that Miss Iceberg just woke up. And he woke up and says that he knows who tried to assassinate him. He says it is Nico Robin. But was it her? I honestly don't know. But let's see. Now it's chapter 336, which is Luffy versus Frankie. So they're gonna fight, I assume. Luffy and Frankie is fighting. Frankie does say he has spent all the money. Yay. But he is a cyborg, and they all a bit of shock of this. And then Mr. Iceberg obviously says that it's their sort of crew that like tried to assassinate him, so they all think that like Nico Robin came on like on their behalf. He says it must be because I turned him down yesterday. They must have been after what I've been hiding. I'm like, what was he hiding? There's something about the Mary, or is it something else completely? I have no idea. But he's lying there thinking about this, and I guess we will find out eventually. Then everyone from like the, I was going to say graveyard, but the shipyard shows off. All the people we saw earlier that works for Mr. Iceberg shows off. And I want to obviously fight with Luffy as well, because they think that he tried to assassinate Mr. Iceberg. Then the volume ends. We're on volume 36, which is the Ninth Justice. And we are going to chapter 237, Protectors of the City of Water, which is obviously the people that works for Mr. Iceberg. And I guess they are also now going to fight Luffy. Yay! Okay, so Luffy is, as I said, fighting, I don't even remember his name anymore. Remy? The dude from the family. Frankie, not Remy. And then obviously the shipyard people are against them, but they thought that Luffy and Nami thought they were there to help them. against Frankie. And then Frankie is annoyed that they are getting away for his and Luffy's fight, so he also attacks them. So they fight a bit on the same side, but then Luffy's like, can you guys explain why we are even fighting? And they said, they were like, we haven't done anything, why are you fighting us? And they're like, you tried to kill the president. And then that news goes around like the whole town, so everyone wants to go after them and they want to kill them. And they said it was Nico Robin was after them. And then Luffy's like, you don't even know her, this is not true. And then we see Nico Robin looking super, super sus in a corner of the thing, and while the news goes around that all the Straw Hat pirates, and I need to find all of them. So yeah, they want to kill them. They're really shocked because obviously they didn't have anything to do with it. They've been fighting with the Usops and they have nothing to do with it, as we know. Do we know Robin? No. So is she behind this? Maybe. But are we gonna get a reason? Maybe. We shall see. Chapter 338, Coup d'Event. So the shipwreck crew is fighting Luffy with all the might. And Luffy is like, I don't have any reason to fight you guys. The Frankie dude is very annoyed that they're going away from his fight and uses up a lot of like power. He explodes the whole shipyard. It looks like the whole thing almost got destroyed. I don't know if it actually is though. And then Nami's really impressed that a cyborg has all of this power. Can he be the carpenter? Since he like can build stuff, maybe? Luffy grabs Nami and he jumps off with him. He's like stretching out his arms and like using them to go off. So yeah, and then also we have Sanji and the others being worried that the water thing is happening soon. Chapter 339 is rumors. About what, huh? About what? Okay, so Luffy wants to go in and talk to Mr. Iceberg, and he manages to break into the window and go into his room and talk to him. And he says that he doesn't understand how he could have seen Nico Robin, but he does tell him he saw her. And then he says he wants to see Nico Robin one more time to talk to the truth. And then Luffy's like, I don't know how that happened. We don't know where she is. And he tells all this to Nami outside. He managed to go in and out smoothly, even though everyone knew he was there, but like they couldn't find him. And then we are like people in a tavern where Frankie buys drinks for everyone, and everyone is like talking about what they think happened because rumors. Then we just over to Nico Robin, who sits and talks with someone, but we can't see who they are because like they are like masked in shadow. And it says that then she needs to go in one more time to take down Mr. Iceberg. And it says, in the name of CP9, we will not fail to steal it tonight. I don't know what, but that maybe is what Mr. Iceberg is hiding. And CP9 is what someone on the street told her, and that's when she disappeared. So it seems like she's working for someone or something else. We just don't know what yet. Let's see if they can see whatever it is they want to steal. I honestly have no clue, but I guess we will find out. 340, the woman who brings darkness. Ooh. Okay, so we have first like the citizens evacuating, etc., and sealing their doors because they're leaving because of the high tide thing. And then Zoro understands now why he's being chased because they only know Zoro and Luffy's face from the wanted posters and Nico Robin. And then we see them like trying to look for the crew all over the city. They still don't go to the ship, it is abandoned. We see like Usopp behind a stone. But he's still there. He's still present in the story. He's not gone yet. And then we see Nico meet Sanji and Chopper, and she says that she's not coming back. She says everything in the article is true. She says she's sorry that they got to blame, but that happens when pirates are in town. But that there's darkness inside her that will destroy you. And she say thank you for your kindness. And they're like, wait. But then she disappears again. And then Sanji sends Chopper off to tell the others while he goes around alone. Luffy and the others are hiding under a bridge, sitting on him while he's stretched out. And then Chopper shows up and could find them because of the smell. And they're sitting on a rooftop discussing everything that happened. And Luffy's very shocked. And they are like, isn't it by time we settle this? Is she an enemy or a friend? And then the chapter ends. And we have 341 Demon. Okay, so first we have Usopp buying some parts for the ship. He almost doesn't have a portrait, and then he's carried by himself and can manage not to do so almost. And then he gets some food from the dude he bought it from, who was really kind. Luffy and the others discuss if they should go or leave because like they know there was like a masked person Robin was talking to, or if they were going to try to stop her and they're going to try to capture Robin. They're talking about that they will not leave and try to do that. And then we see like lots of guards outside like the room of Mr. Iceberg, and then we see Robin's foot, and we see also Luffy and the others waiting outside in a tree, waiting for something to happen. And also the others are frustrated because they can't find Luffy and the others. So yeah, okay. Chapter 342, The Messenger of Darkness. Very ominous. Okay, so Mr. Iceberg calls in Pauline to give him some instructions. So he goes off to find a safe under this floorboard where there's something there. So that is what he was hiding, but we don't know what yet. Then an explosion happened. We see Nico Robin together with like this big teddy bear thing on the top of a roof. Not teddy bear, but like, yeah, I mean, kind of a teddy bear. And then a big explosion happens. And then they are getting attacked. One of the people attack like a person who looks like the queen on like playing cards. And it's like, stand down if you want to leave. You people are no match for me. And then like we switch over to like 2 other people again, but we don't know who they are. That goes in on a Pauline who like just found like the thing in the floorboard. They say, hand it over. You can't know how valuable that is. So Nico Robin apparently belongs to some sort of organization. They all have like different masks, costumes, things on. Even Nico. So I'm curious to see like the answers to this. We have chapter 343, Cypher Pole number 9. Maybe that was what was in the safe thing. Very interesting new elements is being added right now. So the Cypher 9 or whatever is a organization that Robin was a part of. Is not the item. The item is apparently like some sort of blueprints of a ship that's gone down to generation to generation. So they didn't kill him on purpose because they knew if his life was in danger, he would send someone after to get the papers or something. And they did that. So like when he sent police to find them, they would know that's where they were. So that was their plan all along. They now shot the mayor, but he's not dead yet. They just said this plan. And the whole point was that they would see Nico Robin so that they would blame Luffy and them for everything. Since they blame Luffy and them for everything, they're also going to get blamed for everything that's happening now. This is a very secret organization, it seems like. It seems like they talk about how, like, the crowd is thinned out with Zoro and Chopper and Nami because they're running in after Louis. He went off without them. And then there's, like, a billion people outside who are still waiting for them. So, like, this is not thinned out. Luffy is stuck in a wall. So he said, the Miss Iceberg, that he blamed on Luffy and them when they were not behind this. But they were clearly scammed on purpose. But yeah, interesting, like, elements being brought in. Interesting, different kind of, like, political scam plots compared to like the other plots we have. I kind of like it. Chapter 344 is Opposing Force. Okay, so in this one we have like Mr. Iceberg talking with Nico Robin while the others are fighting on the outside. He basically says that she has the power in the whole world to destroy humankind because she studies the polygraphs, which is illegal, and that means that she has the power to awaken all weapons of the world. She works, I think, for the world government because it seems that this organization is for the world government. And then he says that the blueprints that he holds is like the ancient weapon of the ancient world, the Pluton, which is like a ship that is like a big war machine. He says that they fell for his ruse because apparently the blueprints that Pauline went to get are fake. And then the chapter ended very shockingly. But I never thought about like the whole like that being not allowed. And I didn't know if she joined the world government now or she's been a part of the whole time. I don't know. But I guess we will find out. Chapter 245 is Sleepers. Oh my god. Oh my god! Oh my god! A plot twist. A plot twist. Honestly, such a plot twist. So we have like all the masked people revealing themselves. But before that, we have Luffy like coming in and getting defeated. And then like they're lying on the floor and changed because they got owned. And they both want to fight with the last Faber and like beat them to the end because they don't want to die like this. Oh, I mean, at least I'm sorry, but you don't want to die like this. But they're like pulling back, not attacking them right now, because obviously since the blueprints were fake, they need to find out where the real ones are. But to take off the masks, and it's all of his crew. It's Khalifa and like all of the ones that were like working for him. And they said that it was like Kaku and all of them, and they have been undercover in the whole time. And they wanted to do all this without hurting this iceberg, but they had to do it like this instead. They were all working for the government the whole time. And I'm like, what? That is dramatic and sad. Yeah. So I guess that's why they did the whole maybe plot with Nico Robin as well. But yeah, okay. So they got shocked. I'm pretty shocked. I did not think about that. But actually they were guarding on the outside. So I just assumed they would be defeated. But yeah. Chapter 346 is the 9th Justice. And I think the last chapter for this volume. Okay, I was a bit confused earlier apparently. Because Luffy was on the floor with like Pauline. So he was one of the few people there who was not an agent. and not with like Mr. Iceberg. They're interrogating him, and they saw the name on the false blueprints was like of a builder that was his last apprentice, who now goes by the name Frankie. They found out, so they know that Frankie has the blueprints that he had given them to him a while ago, and now they can go after him. So we see Luffy running around with Pauline trying to reach like them in with the Iceberg dude, and they manage to get there in time. And then one of the dudes is like, ugh, meddlers. When Luffy comes in, where is Robin? So yeah, they know where the blueprints are. I assume they're gonna go after it. Yeah, they've been undercover this whole time, but they have reached the limit of the time that this mission can take. I can't believe they all managed to just infiltrate. Apparently there's like 8 agencies or like groups of people that goes around and are spies for the government, but the 9th is a secret and no one knew the 9th existed. As we know now, the 9th exists, but I'm still confused if Robin worked for the government the whole time. I was the 9th agent, also part of the 9th agent things, not number 9, that's not what I call, but you get the point. Or if she joined them now, that's what I didn't get, or if she's been a part of them the whole time. I don't understand. But it seems like the world government, aka aren't they not the one who controls the Navy, wants to awaken these weapons, and that can destroy humankind. I'm like, it's because, but why? So we have like the world government of like literally super villains, and then we have like cute pirates. It's really interesting. I really like how we manage to go from place to place and like still have different setups. And even though like obviously it goes to like reveal like a kind of conspiracy every time, because like it has been different, like Riku works was a conspiracy with Mr. Crocodile, and then like obviously Skypiea was kind of a conspiracy with like the Kami god, and now this is really interesting to see the different build-ups, and then obviously the final fights and see everyone develop. The thing with Usopp needs to be resolved or I will lose it, but I'm sure it will be fine. But yeah, obviously enjoying myself immensely. I have never trusted Nico Robin. I was very unsure about her in general, so it's really interesting to see if this is a role she had all along, if she was invited there now, as I said, if she will continue with them, or if she will be gone after this arc. I don't know yet. How long, like, because I always already think that we are done with revealing stuff, and like now we're gonna just get to the fights in my head, but I assume it's gonna be more. I assume so. Okay, so that means I can start 37, 38, and 39, which is obviously the next part in Water 7. And as I have not edited yet the thing you just saw, that means that the last thing that happened was that they are trying to scam the Star crew for this murder of this president dude. And Usopp has left them. I'm gonna cry. And then Nico Robin is in this organization thingy. It's very interesting so far. I'm really, really, really liking it. But yeah, I guess I need to start this. And I'm not going to read them all like right now, because that's going to take me ages. So you will see me over a few days, obviously. But at least I will start this one now. And then we shall see how it goes on. I forgot to say all the stuff I usually say. I was just so, let's go. So we are, as I said, on volume 37, which is called Tom. And our chapter is chapter 347, 6 powers. Woo! We literally start off in like the middle of the fight, and Luffy's getting owned a bit. He has like a finger pistol in his neck, and he's like, the dude who does it says that if he had been a normal guy not made of rubber, he would have been dead. Basically only cares that he finally found Robin. It's like, what's going on? What are you doing? And she's like, I left you guys, didn't the cook and the other dude tell you? And they were like, yeah, but why? Why are you leaving? And she said that if she stays with them, she cannot fulfill her dream. That will never happen. And then they keep asking her over and over, basically, is it really true that you're leaving us? Like, I don't believe it. So, are you now our enemy? We don't believe it. I don't know what I believe. I never actually thought that she for real joined the crew from the get-go. So, I don't know. We're going to chapter 348, Fighting Power. Robin's about to leave. And then they're like, no, we need to stop her. Blah, blah, blah. We want to talk to her. And the dudes, the people, the people that that are there, the team, Bob, Zoro, and Luffy, they literally get owned. They are kicked on their asses, to say it like that. And then Nami says, what is with their strength? and they say those of us in CP9 have been training for as long as we can remember. We hone our skills to serve the government and to overcome the limits of the human body. We got 6 superhuman fighting skills through that training, 6 powers. But now you must be painfully aware of the difference in the combat power between the 4 of us and the world's government most elite fighting force, and you a mere band of pirates. So they are like super strong, super badass. I don't know what's happening with the light. Like seriously, chill. Son needs to chill. I just turned. It looks like I'm like in an ice cube. So yeah, very interesting. I was gonna say that they are so badass. So if they beat them, let's just say that Sorrow and Luffy beats them and like the rest of the crew, does that mean that they are more powerful than the most powerful fighting force of the government? That is my daily thoughts for today. Chapter 349, Ordinary Citizens. And also, I think Robin left. I don't actually know if she got to leave or not. It was chaotic. Not Nami getting kidnapped again. I feel like she gets kidnapped in like every arc. They defeat Luffy and Zoro. I think Robin left, and then we see just the whole place burn down. And they're like, goodbye, Iceberg, you have been a good dude, but you cannot resist the world government. No one can. So they leave off and says that they're going to go after those blueprints, after Frankie. I think they threw someone into the sea. I honestly don't even know. Did someone get thrown into the sea? I think Zoro. They took Nami with them to question her about where the others are or something. Poor Nami. 350, the warehouse under the bridge. So we see Usopp on, I was gonna say Hail Mary. That's not what it's called. On Mary. He's talking with the dude, the guitar. And he's like, bro, dude, bro. He's a dude, bro. And then he says that he helped him haul this ship over, and then says that the assessment he originally got was correct and the ship is destroyed. And then he says that he will help Usopp break it apart. And Usopp is like, no, I will not let you do that. So he's still fighting tooth and leg for the Mary. And then we also saw like the CP9 crews that they were called, beat up some people. And they are saying, we got this location, let's go. Now what did they need Nami for? Nami's not even with them. I thought they said they took Nami. I'm so confused. But I guess we will find out. Chapter 351, Clawbouterman. Also the bro dude talked a lot about like the ocean. And what the ocean does. Yay, ocean. Because water. Salad. So Usopp is fighting tooth and nail for the ship. And he then says that he knew all along that the ship was done for. But then, you know, when they were in Skypiea, the ship got like changed overnight from the flying ship to back to Omari. And he thought that it was the ship's like essence, spirit or whatever that spoke to him. So that's why he couldn't let the ship go, even though he knew the ship was done for. And then the bro dude that he's talking to says that he saw Clawbouterman, which is like a legend passed down among sailors, and that he shows up and repairs the ship. It usually warns people when like tragedy is gonna strike or something, or like a spirit who lives only on ships that have been truly cared for and treated well. So like he comes and warns them, and maybe he wanted to give them a last chance to go, I was gonna say, to safety. But yeah, they told him that even though he knew the ship was done for, he split from his teammates. I was like, wow, you are really stubborn. And now it sounds like they got visitors, which seems to be the CP9 people. So yeah, chapter 352 is Tom's workers. I'm apparently a bit slow because I realized the person that Usopp was talking to was Frankie, whose real name was Caddy Flam, and him and Iceberg was the apprentices to Tom, and Tom gave over the blueprints to Caddy Flam, aka Frankie. I keep forgetting the names, I've been confused, and that is where they were now, like they were in the secret like hiding place, and that was the ones they beat up earlier to find this place. And then they also beat up his secretaries. He got really mad, tried to like defeat them, but they like whoosh super easily. And now they want like the papers, obviously, and he's standing there threatening them. Frankie, Mr. Iceberg was his apprentices. Maybe Frankie is the one who would the crew. They said they killed Mr. Iceberg, by the way. Is he actually dead? I have no idea. But I guess we will find out. Or wait, no. Iceberg and Frankie were not the apprentices. I'm sorry. Frankie was apprentices to Tom, and Tom was Iceberg, right? I think so, at least. Okay, I think he was Iceberg's apprentice, and he had 2. But where's the other one? Or were he an apprentice with Iceberg? I am confused. But we're going to the next chapter, which is chapter 353, the legendary shipwright. I guess we will figure it out in this one, maybe. Because it's called a legendary shipwright. That makes sense in my head, at least. Okay, we actually got the answer. Tom is the shipmaster they worked for. So we go back in time 22 years. And we have Caddy Flam, age 12. And Iceberg is 16. So there is some years between them. And then Tom, a long-haired cowfish fishman. He's a fishman. It's a long time since we've seen the fish people now. President of Tom's Workers Shipbuilding Company. And then in the end of this chapter, because we just see his secretary and then they talk and they go in Water 7. He's talking about this is the island's last hope. It would be great if the Water 7 could use this to get a new lease on life. But I don't really know if we got to see what he made. I hope it's like not the Pluton weapon, but maybe something like really beautiful and lifeful, another weapon. But then we see him get arrested and then he's going to get executed. But we still don't know what he drew. Interesting. 354 C train, which we have seen before. So are we going to take the train? Is that where Sora woke up? Who knows? This chapter is actually very sweet because Tom was about to get executed, but instead he has a suggestion of how they can stop being so isolated from the rest of the world, which is to build the sea train. He says it would take him 10 years to build it, and he does. In the end, the train says toot toot, and it's actually very sweet. Everyone is crying and very emotional, and he's so smart. I really enjoyed how he came with a solution, and it's very cool concept, a train on the sea. Doesn't make any sense, shouldn't work, but it works. Absolutely incredible, love it. So next chapter is 355, Spandam. So after many years, Tom is supposed to be pardoned because he did this, because he was going to be judged for working together with someone called Roger. But then since he built this ship instead, he is not going to be judged after all. But then this dude shows up, which was Shaddam, that wants those blueprints and they want him prosecuted. If they want to build a ship, because then they can, and piracy once and for all. He's gonna also say lead that operation so that they won't pardon him after all. And then the judgment ship, the judicial ship is coming, and everyone is you don't are not surprised if he be pardoned. But then suddenly his ships attack them, Tom's ships attack them, and they're what was that? Who is this? Who's doing this? And they saying it is Tom's ship, but obviously it seems to be the government who has taken his ship to scam him, obviously. Right before that, he also showed them the blueprints. Iceman, Iceberg, and Remy, I keep forgetting his name, of the thing they're looking for in general. So it seems like they were very shocked when they saw those blueprints. So they seem to exist, actually. I was hoping it would be not real. He also shows them a concern he has, which is a wanted poster of Nico Robin when she was a young kid at the time. Then he says, I have another word for you guys, and show off a wanted poster of Nico Robin when she's a young kid. And she has a huge bounty even then. So I'm whoa, that's a long history, honestly. Either way, let's see how they get scammed in chapter 356, Mr. Tom. Okay, so they use Frankie's ship to attack the judgment ship, and he gets shouted out a bit at Iceberg, who says that he just left his stuff lying around and he always did that and he was irresponsible. And he says that if they take Tom now, I will never forgive you. They are in handcuffs and they are saying you guys did this, why would you do this when you were about to be pardoned? And they're hello, obviously it's not us. And Frankie says aloud that he regrets making the ships in the first place, and Tom has a mission now will say that you should be proud of what you made. It's not the ship's fault that they were used for bad things. And then he raises up and says that no matter what happens now, don't interfere. I don't think this is going to end well. So we have 357, Cutty Flam, which is the name of Frankie. I just keep forgetting because it's a really bizarre name for me. So Tom just says he was responsible for the attack because he wants his apprentices to go free. He knows he's kind of doomed anyway, so he goes aggressive and then he's shot with tranquilizers. But they do declare that the two apprentices should go free, which is, I guess, a good thing, but it's really sad. He also says he's proud to have helped the man named Roger. Now I can't remember who Roger is. Was that the king of the pirates? I'm having a momentary I don't know right now. Then when they try to take him, they attack the people trying to take him. And I can't actually see who is who. There's someone on the train that's saying that he's mad at Cutty Flam. So that is, I guess, Iceberg. And he's Superman, I can never forgive him. And then Cutty Flam is on the tracks and has a huge weapon and is about to attack the train to stop them from taking Tom. But I'm so confused. Why is Iceberg on the train with them? Is he also being arrested because he was the one who went aggressive? I think he's the one who went aggressive. And then they were gonna arrest Iceberg and Tom. I'm a bit confused. Cutty Clam says, I don't want to build the ships anymore. How can I love ships I made when they hurt the people really important to me? Because someday I want to build a dream ship too. Because that's why he wants to save Tom. A dream ship that can sail to the ends of the world with pride. And then the volume ends. That was actually kind of sweet. I love the focus on dreams in these in general. Now we have volume 38, Rocketman. And we start it with 358 reactivation. Okay, dang. So the person on the train who was hurt was not Iceberg. It was the dude from the government, Bandam. And we get a full flashback where, as we know, Remy attacked the train. And then he got hit by it, and then everyone thought he died. And then 4 years later, it turns out he was not dead. And then he contacts Iceberg again. And Iceberg is like, I need to pretend I don't know you. You need to go by a new name. And then he gives the blueprints, as we know, so that no one connects them anymore. He says, like, Badoo's trust me. He's like, I'm still mad at you for them using your ships as weapons. But I'm very glad you're alive. And then he cried. And I was like, oh my God. And then we are back to our present day. And they are, like, holding Cuddy Flam. And like, he's gonna take him, and then Usopp is for a moment like, don't take him, and then he's like, never mind. He talked in his slave phone with Spandam, who has like a mask on because he got, I think, exploded by Kadifam earlier, in the past, so he is hurt. He had thought that Spandam died all along because he hated him, because he was the one he tried to kill. But turns out he's alive, and he's happy that Kadifam is alive because he has wanted a revenge on him this whole time. Now we go over to a reindeer, aka Chopper, who just saved Miss Iceberg and Polly in the burning building. We also have Nami lying there unconscious. I don't even know where Luffy and Zoro went, but he saved them and he's also hurt. And then the people in the town says that they need to help them out. So 359 is bingo, my favorite game. Not really, but I used to work in one, so every time I see the word bingo, I'm like, frozen in terror. Things were revealed, things were sad. It was very emotional. First of all, they took Go Mary out into the ocean and it disappeared. And I don't know if it sunk, but like it was literally thrown out into the sea, and Usopp got very, very sad. Then we switch over to Nami and Iceberg, who is talking, and he says that Robin apparently told Iceberg the first time she was going to assassinate him that she had to go over to their other people's side, or else they were going to like, summon everyone, activate a buster call, which means 5 vice admirals and like 10 warships, etc. And just soon as she heard the name of Admiral Okiji, which would want to be much in Long Island, she knew it was over, so she agreed to help them so that the others could leave safely without her. So she didn't betray them. She wanted them to go free, so that's why she went to the others and helped them. I'm not gonna cry. I swear. Nami just gets so happy. She's like, oh my God, she didn't betray us. And then she's like, we need to tell the others. And then she runs off. Well, Chopper's still lying there a bit like that, but I think he came with them. Earlier, we saw Sanji and Chopper split. And then Chopper's like, where are you going? And then Sanji says, real man can't forgive the lies woman tell. And then he goes after where he thinks Robin will show up. And she says, bingo. Because he was waiting for her there. Because he knew she would show up there. I love them so much. She also asked, she wants to read the hieroglyphs of the world, right? She also asked Iceberg at the point when she was killing him, what do you know about O'Hara? Because he said, you saw the fate of the demons of O'Hara and you still want to chase after history. Don't know what they're talking about. Will we get answers? No idea. But she wants to read the history, and she was willing to activate this weapon that could literally destroy the world, only so the Straw Hat Pirates would be safe. Okay, 360 departing soon. There's so many pieces going on that sometimes I have a hard time getting an overview. So, first of all, they need to go to the train to stop Nico Robin. Mom needs to get there, but they also need to find Luffy and Zoro, because if they don't reach that train, there's no way for them to get off this island. I was like, can't they just borrow a ship? But I think they damaged something. I don't even know. Sanji's also standing there like, there's a reason she's on the ship. Should I go in? He runs in the end, and then also Iceberg commands all the others of his like workers to help Nami out to find the others and get to the ship in time. And they're like, you sure? Because weren't they the assassins? And he's like, no, I haven't explained this. They were not the assassins. And Nami also had to explain everything to Chopper. So Chopper and Nami and everyone is going around in those boat things on the canals, looking for Luffy and Zoro and Sanji while the train departs in 20 minutes. So they have a really bad time. And then we see Luffy and Zoro, they are stuck in the chimney. I don't know if they're stuck in the same one, but we literally see Zoro head down in chimney and his 3 swords and feet upwards. Luffy is just, I think, stuck in between 2 buildings. So he's all like squished while Zoro's in a chimney another place. How are they not dead? This is so ridiculous. They need to get on that train to get Nico Robin back with them. And they said that one of the like people who was working for the government said, our mission is almost finished, right? And he says, don't talk that nonsense here. But I didn't really get why they had to do anything. They still don't have the blueprints. Sam or Rich and Shaw what's going on. They also took Usopp with them because he's a pirate and they're arresting him. But did they take with them the dude? Remy? Katifam? I think they took him too. But did he have the blueprint? I'm not sure. So we have 361 PS. Okay. So Nami did not make the train, but she gets a note from Sanji. She's like, how did you find this small note? And it's like literally the hugest sign in the world on the wall. It says, Nami, read this. If you're not Nami, don't read it. It says he's on the train. He's going to go after Robin because she didn't make it. And then also right before that, she was convinced that they were going to go after that train. Even though there's like the Laguna thing with the water rising and the storms and stuff, they are like isolated and the train is on the way to get out. But she wants a big strong ship and thinks she can navigate herself through it. I think if anyone can navigate through that storm, it is her. But yeah, that is why the train was the last way to get out. I was just a bit slow to realize this. 362 ebb tide. Sanji managed to get on the boat. He was gonna sneak in, but then like gets attacked, and now he's attacking like one dude really easily. But it was something about the further ahead you go into the ship, the harder we get. So he's gonna just fight as well through the ship alone. Or how are the others even gonna catch up? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. But then we go back to, I was going to say the Water 7 city, and then everyone is still looking for Sanji and Luffy because they are hard to find. Then Kokoro shows up, which was, you know, the assistant to Tom, and says she can see Luffy squeezed between like the buildings. Right before that, all the sea goes out, like back from the city, which means that a huge wave is coming, and it's like, how big is that going to be? We don't know. And it says that if she goes down to Luffy right now, she can get hit by the wave, like she can die from it, but she is running towards Luffy, of course, because chapter 363 is Aqua Laguna, which is, you know, the whole storm wave thing. I think, I don't even know. Nami reaches Luffy and is like, stop messing around, we need to go after Robin. She lied to us, she sacrificed herself, she's intending to die to save us. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. And Luffy just like makes a huge attack and manages to get himself out of the alleyway, and everyone on the top is like looking down at them. They see the wave coming. He grabs Nami and like stretches out his arm and like takes her with him. At the same time, Chopper finds Zoro, who manages to use like a sword to get out of the shimmy, and the people that are watching them are like literally like, who are these people? They manage to get up and they're like, oh my god, you guys are so awesome. Like, oh, we got out. And then a huge wave, I think. Did it crash into them? At least it crashed into the city. I don't know actually where they were in the city at the time. Chapter 364 is Kokoro. So I wonder, did she save them in that last moment? I don't know, but let's see. I just realized the old lady Kokoro was the same one who worked on the ship earlier, who was the one who was the secretary for Tom. I just realized that. It took me a long time. But either way, they are standing there arguing. They were saved by police. And so they're arguing, they say, we need to abort our ship, we need to go after that train. And they're like, no, you need to go in the morning, the storm is now, if you go now you will die. And they're like, no, we need to go now, because Nami talks about where that train is going. It's going to the world government. It's like kind of a court on name only. All the people and the criminals that go there are executed, or like they get sent to like some, it's like the location, the gates of justice, this courthouse is the government held Judicial Island, Ines Lobby. Once considered marked as some of the forces of justice in the world, the Navy headquarters, and it's the great underwater prism impelled down. So it's gonna go, they're like, we cannot wait till the morning, we need to go now. And they almost start fighting because they want to stop them, but the police says that I will send a sea train out for you. So she seems to have another secret train, because that also seems the only way how they will catch up anyway, because The train seems fast on ship. I mean, I forget that ships are pretty fast on water. Cockroach to the rescue. Cockroach to the rescue. So we had 365 Rocketman. We see Sanji, and he has fought himself through a couple of carts, of course, and now is with Usopp, and another pirate is like, are you guys friends? And they're like, ex-friends. Stop saying that. They're gonna be friends again. And then we see the people in the front of the cart like turning around because they hear noises. Dun dun dun. We switch over to Luffy and them, and they are being shown this huge train that has a shark head. And they're saying that this is a bit unsafe. It's a proto, I think, kind of prototype. And they're like, it's fine. And they're about to leave, waiting for Nami. Luffy feels a bit woozy, hasn't eaten, and she's coming with a huge like bounty. And they're all like, what is all this? She's like, food. And they're like, oh my god. And he starts eating. Also, we have the Frankie family. They want to become with them. I assume our bro was abducted by the government, so they want to help. And Nami's like, you sure? And Luffy's like, it's fine. So they're also coming. And now the train that looks like a shark is leaving. So hopefully it will not break apart when they go. We have 366. Sorry. Oh my god. So the train is going full speed ahead. They also get the Frankie family's personal king bolts. They also enter, it seems like. They're on the top of the train. I don't even know. They look crazy. And then Zoro also says, hold on a second, there's someone strange in this car. And then you're like, who? And then he's like, you guys. Because he's talking, I think, to the other shipwreck. Because some shipwreck people came with them. Not shipwreck, the ship company things. Pauline was there. He explains to the others what was going on. We have 3 of those. And then we have the Frankie family. And Luffy says that the 3 of them now will work together. Because obviously they had their differences in the past. But now they're going to work together to get back their friends. They're also going into this huge wave. And they're readying something. A candle. Something. I don't even know. Nami gets a phone call from... I was going to say her boobs, but that's where she has like a baby snail phone, which is Sanji calling. Hello, hello. We have someone reporting to the people front in the car that everyone is defeated and they lost sight of the criminals. So Usopp and Cuddy, Flam, and Sanji are all together. They have now climbed on the top of the cart, or the train at least. And things are now starting getting complicated. They still have not reached Nico Robin though. So let's see what this phone call can bring. We have 367, Sniper King. Is that Usopp? We shall see. Okay, so first we have Luffy and Zoro standing in the front of the train, and then it doesn't attack, so they manage to get through the Aqua Laguna wave. Because they're amazing. Everyone is like so impressed. I love them so much. It is so ridiculous. But I love them so much, like, my children. Either way, and then he talks to Sanji in the phone. He goes, go ahead, tear things up. And then Sora's like, are you sure he shouldn't wait till we catch up? And he's like, no. And then Sanji says that after hearing that story of what Robin did for us, I will not hold back. And my captain orders me not to. And then you're gonna go ahead. And then he also tells, obviously, Usopp and Cuddy Flam, like, what's up? And then Usopp says, after hearing that story, Robin sacrificed herself and did what those people told her to, so that the 6, including you, could be safe. She all left us, and he says that even after shaming himself and everything he did, he could not help them, and goes away. And then Sanji's like, okay. And then suddenly another figure appears that is going to help them. My name is Sniper King. He has a mask on and a cape. Obviously, it's Usopp. Is he going to be known as Sniper King forever? Is it going to be like a scene where he's forgiven and then they'll all come together? I don't know. I don't know if he deserves forgiveness in that way. I understand his actions. I just don't want them to fight ever. But yeah, he says he will fight alongside them. So they're going to go ahead. The 3 of them, Sniper King and Sanji and Cuddy Flam. So actually that volume was now done. And now we are going to volume 39, Scramble. I was just want to see if Usopp was written up as Sniper King. It says a good friend of former crewmate Usopp and a superhero has come to save Luffy from the crew, or at least that's what he says. Oh my god! Like in the list, he's not Usopp anymore. Oh my god. That's really funny. 368 is Sea Train Battle Game. Okay, so Nami and them are making them ready for battle. Nami has an interesting outfit. And they are, as I said, ready for battle. They also have like a weapon that was Usopp's, and then they all get like super sad when they think about him, and they're like, no. We also switch over to Usopp and them, who is still fighting through the cart. Sorry, Sniper King. Was that his name? Sniper King? I'd already forgotten. Yes. He's like, you don't have any questions for me, even though we never met before. And they're like, sure. And then they're fighting themselves through the cart. They get rid of 2 by like losing them up and like tricking them. So they like went off, you know, when they take off then off the main train. I can't speak. So they ahead, and then I meet Wansi, who is CP7 cooking fighter. And I first think she's there to sell food, and then she says, if you want to pass through this car, you must defeat me. So they're gonna, I guess, try to defeat her. But so far it's going well, which we all know it's not gonna go well. Now we have 369, which is Ramen Kung Fu, which is to miss that lady. Okay, so we first see the mean people devise the plan of how they're defending a ship with Rob, Lucy, and Hattori. He's like the main dude, the one with the bird and the hat. Nico Robin is in the front, so she didn't get through all the carts to get to her. So Sanji is taking care of the ramen person who has a full ramen suit. It looks super, super weird. While Katufam is going ahead with Usopp, and the ramen person says that that's not going to help because Nero is ahead. And it seems like Nero is getting ready to fight Katufam. But then we see Nico Robin being shocked because on her window someone knocks. And there is Sniper King. And she's like, oh, Mr. Longnose is what she says. So he just snuck past all the carts, which is kind of ironic since they're like standing there waiting to fight. And he just like went outside and reached the carts. So great defense, guys. Great defense from the government people. Chapter 370 is You Are Not Alone. Okay. So, first of all, we are arriving apparently at the place where we're supposed to go in 20 minutes. A crisis. Are we actually going to get there and have a drama there? Or are we going to stop before? I don't know. We have 2 more goals in Water 7, like omnibuses. So, I'm skeptical. Very skeptical. First of all, we have Usopp talking to Nico Robin, saying stuff like, we're here to save you, take these octopus shoes, you can walk out. And she's like, no, you can't save me, I don't want to be saved. Before they get to finish their conversation, Adu comes in to check on her because she's making noise, and Usopp is clearly hiding inside her, like, cape thing. Sanji is making some pasta / noodles with his kitchen knives, with the ramen kung. And they are having their fight. And then we also have Frankie and Arrow on the top of the train having their fights. I don't really know what much to say to that. Also, I think I called Frankie Remy like 14 times in this video. But yeah, and then we got to know that it's 20 minutes until they arrive. Chapter 371, The Honorable Captain T-Bone. I can't deal with these people. They're so... Okay, so first of all, I was thinking earlier the cars that was like not chopped off, but like put off from Sunday. Then when Luffy and I meet them, and I met them now, they're like obviously going to crash into them. So then Luffy was just like, cut it. And then Zoro just whoosh, 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 and then cuts the ship in half so that they just run through them. But like they didn't die, though. They just like kind of jumped off the side of everyone there because Luffy went over right before to check who was actually in there so that they didn't accidentally kill Sanji or someone. They were all like the others on the ship. They were like, warn us before you do that. We were scared. And then they also looked over to Zoro and was like, he's so powerful and he's not the leader. Wow. I love them so much. I love Zoro so much. I love Luffy and Zoro and how they're trusting each other so much. It makes my whole life, honestly. And then he says it's not over yet. He takes out his 3 swords. I don't even know, like the thing he has on his head. I don't know what it's called. But he takes that all out, takes it on. And then the others on like the train says that is the ship slasher. He's really scary. He was the one who was in like the carts that were loose. And then Zoro just like swoosh, 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 one attack and defeats him. And everyone is like, holy moly. And I'm like, Zoro, my precious. I love him so much. I love how Luffy was literally just like, Zoro, take care of it. Everyone just get out of the way. Like he had no doubt inside his body, and that's how it's supposed to be. I love it. Like my heart, their trust is everything to me. 372 is plastic surgery. We go back to the fights on Tom Tom. And first we have Remy. I really hope that is his actual name this time around. Frankie. Oh my god, why is he Remy in my head? Is it called the Remy family? It's not called the Remy family, it's the Frankie family. Either way, he's fighting, and then he's using his like cyborg parts, because I don't know if I said so earlier, but he has cyborg parts because parts of him got ruined when he was hit by that train those years ago, and he's like loosening his like butt. No, not his butt, his crouch out of his body, and they're like, what is going on? So he's going to use the special attack with that. Sanji's making food out of Wansi, and just chop, not chopping actual like Wansi, but like all the food, and ruined Wansi's individuality, which is why it was called plastic surgery, because he kind of could weigh everything about him that was special or something. I don't even know. But then Sanji gives him one last kick, and once he's defeated, and then it ends. 373 is necessary evil. I was just thinking, how are they gonna make this in the live action? How are they gonna make this in the live action, like, without it looking stupid? I mean, the train fight, like, how are they gonna make that look good? Because if it doesn't look good, then what is life? Either way, let's go. Okay, so we have them finishing up the fights. Frankie somehow finished off his with his 4 legs move. He suddenly had a huge move that made him cool. And then obviously Sandra had finished his. And now they're in the last cart. And they say that they have 3 seconds to leave, but they don't. And then also the bird dude throws out the person that just defeated. And it was like the new guy wasn't strong enough. And he's talking about how Nico Robin, don't you think the girl should be killed for the sake of humanity? Because she is the only one who can awaken the power of this demonic power. So she should be killed for the sake of humanity. And they're all like, no. And then it seems like she at first comes in and then she throws Usopp away. And then she's like, you don't understand unless I spell it out for you, did you? So it first seems like she's not going to go with them and it's like against that because Sanji's like, what are you doing? But then I think Usopp grabs her and it's going to be like, no, Nico Robin is ours. And then they'll leave and they're like, yes. And then the chapter ends. Sorry, I tried to explain that because I got a bit confused with what was happening. Then we have 374, which is Scramble. So Robin is still resisting this escape. And they're saying that it's because they reached this deal. And she, when she was young, the island she lived in got annihilated by the royal government. And that's why she's so scared of them. But Sanji tells her to have faith in Luffy. And we see her like being really upset. Because she does, for a moment, hold Usopp and like tries to like stop them from saving her. But that's basically what's happening. They're kind of fighting. But yeah, she seems very upset. And they now seems to have arrived at the Nightless Island. We request that you open the gates in Aeneas lobby. I don't know how to say that. Aeneas? I'm not sure. Okay, so 375 is the Superman of Aeneas lobby. Okay. They managed to get with them, Nico, Robin, and Cuddy Flam. I keep calling him Cuddy Flam instead of Frankie. I feel like I call him Rami instead. And they arrive in the Aeneas place, which is like a hole in the ocean in a way. And they have the ones they wanted with them. And now Luffy and the others have caught up to Sanji and Sniper King, who was in like a thing in the ocean. And then Luffy's like, who's that? And doesn't even see who it is. And now it says, in this lobby is in view. Everyone prepare for a decisive battle. I guess we're going to spend the next few hours on that. We also had like a thing with a frog earlier that hugged the train. But I don't know how important it was. So chapter 376 is, I got it. So they talk with Sanji and he says that they have exploited Robin's like, I was going to say almost weaknesses or like vulnerabilities, which is like she never felt that she deserved to live because she's cursed or whatever. And I felt like this is kind of almost Nico Robin's arc. I mean, like Anami's arc came a bit later, even after she's joined the crew, to make her like full part of the crew. And when not that you need a whole arc to be full part of the crew, maybe, but that makes her care more for her character than like just her joining out of the blue like she did. It makes her, I mean, I guess more complex and like show her vulnerability in her past than like just her being like this super powerful, mysterious figure that work with a crocodile, you know? And so they arrive at the gates and then they're gonna like plan how to get in because they never open fully. And then Luffy just jumps in like with his stretched arms. They discover him, try to shoot him, but then he like beats people and they're like, where is Nico Robin? And she is like brought further into the place, arrested, and then like she's like, what was that? But then they keep going. And then we have 377, which is the big showdown on the Judicial Island. I can't pronounce that word, which is the last chapter of this volume. So with that, we have the others following Luffy in, and reinforcements are also coming. The others do break through the gates, but 2 giants show up, Kashi and Oimo, that stops some of like the others following. And then Luffy is surrounded by 10,000 soldiers on Annie's lobby. And then Luffy's like, I'm by myself, get out of my way. He's so stupid. So yeah, I guess it's going to be a huge fight here before we move on. And normally, obviously, you normally ended my videos here because this is the first time that I'm going to just continue and not like start end it. Because obviously on these it says Water 7, even though I do believe that is this a nice arc since we are on a different island. If we go by islands, I'm not sure. Still kind of Water 7 because it connects with the last plot we had. And then also I assume we might go back with the others and there we maybe will get a ship since they need a new ship after this. That's why I assume, so that's how it all connects and that's why it's all called Water 7. I don't know how people separate it. I just follow what it says here. But the next one is always done 40, 41, and 42. I'm just saying this now, so I don't need to film another clip introing this, because I'm just going to continue as we just said. So that will be volume 40, which is called Gear. And the next chapter is done 378, which is called Casualties. So yeah, I will hopefully read this within the next few days. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe the day after. So you shall see me then. So we just have these giants attacking each other. I feel like someone beat the others. And they say, we're never going to let you choose. I assume that they are on the world government's side. And then we have other people fighting. And then someone told Zoro that he should go and take Summer Man take care of the iron fence. And he's like, leave it to me. So he's going to go and do something. And someone used an attack storm Casualties, which was the name of the chapter. So, yeah. So now we have 379 power level. I think Zoro's on top there at least. So when CP9, is that what they're called, arrive at the island, they need to test their power levels again because they've been away for like 5 years. And then everyone gets like different power levels. And apparently Lukey, however we say his name, is 4,000, which is like, they say that level is unheard of. So I'm thinking if Luffy and the others manages to be him, does that mean that they have a higher power level and 4,000? That's my thought for today. Then they are going in front of the court or something. They say later there's something I want to give you. First introduce me to the last hope of this world. And it looks like 2 fruits in this casket. So is anyone of the crew gonna eat that fruit? That's what I want to know. Maybe Sniper King, maybe. Because, you know, he doesn't feel like he's on the level of the others. So if he eats a fruit, he feels like maybe he would be. I don't know. And then we have Nico Robin and Cody Flam standing in front of the court. He attacks one of the people, Cody Flam, because he's annoyed of what happened to Tom. And then we have Luffy destroying some buildings. And then out comes 3-headed Baskerville Chief Justice and his lobby. And he says, you will promise and give him the death penalty because like the pirates are guilty. So yeah, and he has 3 heads. Oh, it was in the name 3-headed. I was just very slow. Sometimes I just am. So now we have 380 Annie's Lobby Main Island Express. I feel like we are building up to a really huge fight and I feel like I'm going to be very confused of what is going on. We have like a little map on top of some of the corners where we are like at different gates. But at least the main thing that happened is that they take the train through a gate and then like it flies in the air because like they were like sloping up one of the gates. And then everyone is like, sorry, you know where we're gonna land, right? And he's like, with luck. And everyone is like, what? And then they crash into... Actually, I don't know if we get to see. Yeah, we crash into the building. And then guards comes out and there's someone jumps over the gate. And then someone says, then what was the point of opening it? I don't know who that was, but it was like a huge... giant-like thing, and I don't know if that person was on whose side because that giant-like thing wasn't with them earlier, so I have no idea. And then like Zoro and Sanji stands, I was gonna say, in the havoc of where they land, and it's like, should we introduce ourselves? And he's like, don't be ridiculous. Of course not. And they're like, we've been waiting for you. And then we see Chopper and Sniper King being beat out in a corner. I want to beat out. I mean, Sniper King is lying on the ground, seeing the light, I was going to say. So yeah, I feel like I'm going to be confused a bit in this fight, which is, I guess, normal in manga in general sometimes. So we have 381 fired. We are fighting. Okay, so Nami was in the train when it like crashed and everyone was like, oh my god, Nami's still in there. And then she comes out with a weapon, you know, Usopp made her, and she uses it and it can't be selective, so she hits herself and then she hits Sniper King and everyone is, and Chopper's like, why are you hitting him? Because him and Luffy don't understand that he is Usopp. And then she's like, she deserves it a bit. She actually knocked people out and people like, have you thought that she was just an extra? But apparently she's a warrior in herself. And then Chopper, Sniper King, Sanji, Zoro, all of them are like standing up, to like let go to Luffy because they're like, where is he? And then we see like a fight far away, and then they're like, let's go over to him. We switch over to Luffy that can't move forward because people keep just coming at him all the time, but he's still like fighting strong. They are moving over to him, but then they are being attacked again. So Nami and Usopp is like, maybe it's too many after all. And then like a horse comes, which I think Iceberg is on. And Iceberg tells Zoro that if you meet them, you know, the people who work for him, fake, tell them they're fired. And Zoro's like, I will. So now they are attacking. Zoro is being cool. Iceberg says, we'll make sure this place is under control while the others move on. I mean, it's really interesting that like Iceberg and them, they're not pirates, right? They're just people who work in the shipyard, but they're still super badass. And like the other families, I mean, like if they can beat, but I guess these people that are now defending the entrances, etc., are just goons. They're not that strong. Because I was thinking that they are kind of on the same power level. And it's interesting to me because I feel like they should be better at fighting than Iceberg and his gang, the people protecting the place, I guess. But I guess they're not even the main poops, so it doesn't matter. I don't know. But fun. Chapter 382, Demon Lair. Okay, so we have a little convo with Nico Robin and like the people she's with. And they saying that they're gonna arrest like Luffy and the others soon. They're like probably captured by now because they know they're there. And she says like, what do you mean you promised you'll let them go? And then they say, yeah, we promised we'll let them safely from Water 7. But they came here, didn't they? And she's like, you're twisting my words. They're like, well, and now she seems mad. I hope she will fight back with them soon. We see Luffy arrive like at a place in the city, like closer to like the main, I guess, building house. And there's this dude that shows up, a huge person, and he says, it's the start of the world government. No one has ever made it this far as the entrance to the government. He asks Luffy, how long do you plan to keep fighting? And he says, until I die. Oh, Luffy. Okay. Chapter 383 is Luffy versus Blueno, which I assume was the person guarding. I feel like we saw him before, but I don't actually remember. There's a lot of characters, okay? Okay, so the dude tells Luffy that if he does this, he's committing a major crime, and he's like, what do you mean? And he says that the world government was created to, I don't know, keep the peace or whatever, 470 nations in the world. So if he does this, he has no future, everyone is going to be after him. He says that if you do this, you should just give up because like you couldn't even beat the people earlier. How are you going to stand against our 6 powers technique at the Galala mansion, so you know how superior our combat strength is compared to yours. And then Luffy's like, well, do whatever you want. I just want Nico Robin back, and attacks him. And he's like, beats him super fast. And then he seems super surprised. He says that, what is this? When he fought at the mansion, he was nearly this strong. At the same time, we have Zoro and the others on the thing they're riding. And they went over to where they thought they saw Luffy earlier. And it's like, he's not there. And now Zoro's talking about each time we pass an island, we've gotten stronger. And each time he's been on an island, he's cheated death. Because, like, Nami was panicking that they couldn't find him. I agree. I am worried. Everything is really cool. But I'm scared, like, if you're doing this, what is it going to mean in the rest of the world? I don't know. Either way, 384 is signal the counter attack. Wow. Okay, so the huge giants that were defending the gates, Usopp talks to them a bit, and they say that they are defending the gates and they need to do it for 100 years because their chiefs are imprisoned there. But they are apparently parts of the ship for the chiefs that I met earlier. All the way back when I was gonna say, it's many years ago, when we had to stop at the island. That was where Nami got sick, etc. With the 2 giants that had been fighting each other for like 50 years or something. Usopp is like, that is a lie, because I met your chiefs and they are not here in prison. And they're like, oh my god. And then things are looking dire. The war government kind of takes down the big animal they were riding on, Sorry and the others, which is really sad because I hope that animal didn't die because it was huge and cute, so it doesn't deserve to die. And then they're all like, oh no, what are we going to do? And then the 2 giants come and attacks the governments because they're mad that they tricked them. So Usopp revealing the truth. I love how like they believed him instantly, but he knew things about them that like it wouldn't make sense that he would have known about them unless he actually met them. So it makes sense. And now the giants are on their side, which we love to see. And now we're on 385, which is there is a way. Okay, that was a bit sad. I don't like this. First of all, we have two of the people from the CP9 group eating the devil fruits, which I thought was very boring. I wanted the others to eat devil fruits, but I guess what makes the others in the Star crew, even though only Leaf has a devil fruit, it makes they're all special without needing to eat one. But they might eat one later, who knows? Okay, they ate one. We don't know what powers they have yet. So yeah, but they also have very little time to practice them. So I wonder how that's gonna work. Luffy is fighting still the Bueno dude who can make doors out of everything. So he makes a door to capture his feet, and then he makes a door in his face so he can see double, triple, and he's confused. Then Gamora, which was the big horse thing, that was with them all along apparently, because that was the one who was driving like the carriage for like the family. Remy family. It's not Remy, is it? It's something else. Frankie family. Okay. And Gamora promised to get them in, and then like has lost his sight, but is still riding, and they say if you go into that wall you will die, and it's like super sad. But then Sanji and Sora ruins the wall, so I don't think he actually crashed into the wall, and he's lying there like you did it. So I don't know if Gamora actually died, but if he did, I'm sad. But yeah, they seem to have arrived inside somewhere. Is it the main courthouse? I don't know. But chapter 386 is unprecedented. This chapter was just everyone in the war government being in panic because they're like, everything is fine out there, and then they get a call. Everyone needs to go to the courthouse yard. That's where the pirates are. That's where they're standing in front. Sora and the others are standing like, how are we gonna get in? And then Sora just like uses his sword to like cut down the stone in the gate because the other people on the side think they won't make it. There was also someone that ran off, and then he's like, let's not follow them. I didn't even understand who ran off, but okay. So now they're split into 3 groups. I don't know actually who was in each group, but I assume we're gonna know soon, to go different directions. And now they are going into the courthouse. At the same time, we have like this call going over, like as a narrator saying, we have never had this crisis before at this island. What is going on? Love to see that. Love it. Let's just go straight into action, straight into this building. Let's go. So we have 387 gear. What is going on? I don't know. What? Okay, well, first of all, we have the others going around inside the courthouse. They're going in different directions. Sora is claiming a lot of people, and people are like, why is Sora not the captain? Sanji gets very offended and starts like kicking people really fast to clear the way for Nami. And they're like, we are not here for Nico Robin. And he's like, oh yeah, and her too. And then Sora, of course, goes the wrong direction because he's terrible with directions. And it seems like the Frankie family is going to beat the 3-headed dude. They're still there. Luffy's still fighting Bluena on the roof. And then he says, like, I can't do this. I can't beat you like this. He says that he knew, even if I'm not that strong, I have friends I want to be with, I get to be stronger than everyone, or I will lose them. So now he's like gearing up. He says gear 2. And he looks like his whole body's like smoking. I have no idea what's going on right now. And then chapter 388 is gear 2. So is it like, did he upgrade? But is that like a mode he has to go in every time? Or is it like, is he just always at gear 2 from now on? And has he always been able to do that and just like held back this whole time? Or did he just learn to do it now because of everything that's happened? I don't know, but I have questions. Let's keep reading. Okay, so he geared up. He's super badass. He just like kicks his butt. We kind of get like Bluena's point of view in this fight. He's like observing how he attacks differently. And he says, a person using the art of the 6 powers has a much speed he cannot lose. But I was wondering, is he talking about himself, or is he talking about Luffy that like he can level up 6 times? But I think he was talking about himself. And he was like, I'm going to do this to beat him. He's still standing on his feet, Blueno. So Luffy says, then I will show you something even more interesting. Watch this. Gear. Da 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 da. And he seems like he was going to do it one more time. And he's like biting his finger or doing it. So he could gear up again. Which means he's hinting towards that he needs to do that in the future. Will he do this in this chapter? Like, arc, I mean, to defeat the dude that had like 4,000 in power? Or is that like a later fight? I don't know. But he beat him. And he says, I'm really tired. My body still can't keep up. And he's like shaking. He needs to eat some meat. But he says still can't. Does that mean he's done this before? I need answers to when he trained to do this. I need things. I need to know. I don't know. And then we switch over to the others that are fighting in the like the lobby. It looks cool. And they're on their way. Literally, it says when the fight is over, the world would ring with the sound of that Straw Hat boy's name. Okay. And he says, Robin, I've come for you. And everyone, like, she seems so shocked. I'm getting goosebumps. Okay, so we're done with volume 40. Oh, we have like a overview of the battle layout. It's not going to help me anyway. And now we are on volume 41, Declaration of War. That doesn't sound that good. We are going to volume 389, Response. The chapter was not that long. It was just Luffy being like, I'm here. And then Nico Robin tells him like, why did you come after me? I just want to die. And I'm like, mood, Nico Robin, but you need to live now because Luffy's here for you. Then all of CP9 is standing up, ready to take him on. Is he gonna take them all on at the same time? Are the others gonna come? I thought we had like literally one fight with each of them, and I realized that's gonna take too long. I don't know. I am worried about everyone. So we had 390 accepting the challenge of this fight. Let's go. I love him so much. I love him so much. Okay, first there's like an update of where everyone is at. So I thought, okay, then we'll arrive later. And then we see like the Frankie family fighting the judge person. And then Luffy's like, what do you mean? What the heck are you talking about? If you're going to die, can you do it later? We need to talk. He's picking his nose while saying this, and they're like, what is he doing? Then Zoro shows up, and it's like, oh, it was you, Zoro. Then Sanji shows up, and Nami and Chopper shows up, and Snappy King. So everyone is like on the line, and then he says, if you want to die or whatever, you can say whatever you want, but you have to say it to our faces. And she's crying. And then they're like, just leave the rest to us. And they're standing on the line, ready to defend the crewmates. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love them so much. I love a fan family. Okay. Chapter 391, The Girl They Called a Demon. I'm having goosebumps all over because I love it. I love it. I feel like I'm gonna tear up. Okay, so first we have the dude that like who has a Tom exploded. He's like the leader of like the people there. I don't even know his name. I was gonna check directors. Badam. And he want to press this button that like makes all the chances for the people to leave really low. A buster call that was used on her island, O'Hara, many years ago. And she's like trying to like, don't do that. You know what'll happen if you press that. And he's like, ha 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 ha. And then she thinks back on her life. So we go 20 years earlier, West Blue. And we have Nico Robin, 8 years old. People like, ew, she's a monster, and attacks her. And it seems like the family she lives with, it's just like, today's my daughter's birthday, so just the two of us are going out to dinner. Like, they literally don't care about her. She lives with her aunt. And then they're like, can you clean the house, do everything? So she's like working super hard. 8-year-old crying. And then she goes to this house, which is the Tree of Knowledge, O'Hara Library, and Archaeological Research Center. And she comes there, and everyone there is celebrating her because she passed this test. You pass it with perfect score. From this 34, you can call yourself an archaeologist. That this seems to be her family in a way, because her other family apparently sucks. And I guess we're going to keep doing the flashbacks until I cry. So now we have chapter 392, the Reshi. Okay, so we are in flashback. And we have Robin saying that she wants to study the pyroglyphs and history of the world. But they say it's illegal, you're not allowed to do that. But she said, but everyone here does it at night anyway. And they're like, how do you know this? She's like, this is why I joined, because I wanted to study the pyroglyphs. So she's not allowed. She cries and runs off. Her mother, Nico Olivia, has also been taken and arrested for the same thing, it seems like. And then she's on like this shore, and this giant has washed up. The name of this giant is, I was gonna say, where was the name again? Saul. But he says his full name is, I'm sorry, Jugger D. Saul. And she's like, D. And he says, everyone in my family has D as a middle name, but he doesn't know why. And I was like, well, then he's obviously in family with Luffy and the others. But didn't the Gold Roger dude have a D as his middle name? As we know. Like the leader of all the pirates. I'm confused. And then she's just hanging with him at the beach every day. He's like, I don't want to miss you. She's like, nah. And then she has a power, and everyone says just people are scared of her. And then apparently some Navy people are outside the island. And we have Spadine, who is the CP9 director 20 years earlier. And the people in like the library are saying that they need to take precautions in case like they stop by. And they are looking for like to say this to all the scholars. But obviously Robin doesn't get this message because she's hanging with the Reshi. And they're sitting there laughing and having fun and becoming friends. That's very cute. So now we have chapter 393, which is Olivia, which was the name of Nico Robin's mother. So, I don't know. Okay. So, honestly, I'm sad. Nico Robin tells Derichi about like who she is and what she's studying. She wants to study that 100-year history that is gone and like the polar groups of the world, history of the world, blah blah blah. And then Derichi finds out that she is Olivia's daughter. And he's like, oh my god, all the like Navy is coming here to kill all the scholars right now. Because your mother might also be here. I don't know how he knew this, but apparently he did. And then she runs into the village to look for mother if she's there. And she has arrived to like all the scholars and it's warning them that the Navy is coming and that everyone on the expedition died. She was also saying she has no right to see her, and then like they're hinting that she's well and super smart, and she's like, if she's in good health, I'm glad she won't be branded as a like daughter of a criminal because no one knows that she's her daughter. So if we want to see her now, they would know and probably kill her too, I guess. And then she's running with a rifle through the town. I guess she's gonna try to defend them. She runs past Nico Robin actually. She's like, mommy. And then we have, what is that so important that you have to wake me up? Pardon me, sir. That's Kusan, Navy Headquarters Vice Admiral, later to become Admiral Okiji. So he's also there. Another ship has already arrived in the town. And they're going for all the scholars. I guess it's because they're illegally looking into this history thing. And I never like, I knew that was Nico's dream, but I never like thought that it was such a huge deal, I guess, until now. I can be a bit slow, as we know. I don't really understand how Derichi knew that this was happening. But, yeah, this is bad. But apparently her mother left on this expedition many years ago, like 6 years ago. Wait, 6 years ago doesn't seem correct. If she's 8, then she needs to have been 2 when she left and she could talk. I mean, maybe it's correct. I thought she was arrested, but I think she definitely will be arrested / die now. But yeah, 394 is the Demons of O'Hara. It was just a wanted poster for her, not actually like arrested. Okay, so Nico Robin did not see her mother when she was running. And then they're rounding up all the scholars outside, and then they're looking into like the tree with all the loot books. While at the same time we have Olivia trying to defend them on another side. She shot someone but missed, I think. And then they're like, you all this time when you were in prison, you denied any connection with this place. And she is like, just because I'm here doesn't prove anything. And then she's thrown into the floor in front of everyone that is like outside being held at gunpoint. And Nico Robin was promised right before that to never admit that she's a scholar because they want to protect her. And she also asked if her mom was there, and they're all like, no, why would she be? So she doesn't know that the woman is her because she's thrown down to the ground and can't like see her face. I just dropped the cookie on the floor and it was scary. And then they are finding proof in like a hidden chamber inside that they had definitely been studying the world history, which is not allowed, and said that they have now confirmed their death penalty. And they're like, fine, if you're going to kill us, but can we at least speak our hypothesis about the 100-year void before you kill us? So I wonder what it is. I didn't even like think that this was like a huge thing. I've just been very, very, very slow to realize that this is a huge thing that is not allowed to be talked about. And now I'm very curious of why there is this void and why it's not allowed to look into it. And they talked about how they're going to use O'Hara as like a statement. Because if like they destroy all the skulls here, other people wouldn't dare to do it in other places in the world. Nico Robin is going to be severely traumatized now, seeing everyone she has ever known die. But let's go. We have chapter 395, O'Hara versus the world government. And we all know that didn't go well. So yay. No, we're being so sad. Okay, so the hypothesis is that in these polygraphs, it seems like they put in all the history in stone because it seems like that cannot be manipulated by like things you write down on paper. That can be eradicated or like edited. And it seems like they found a trace of a civilization that existed 800 years ago. And that 100-year period of like no history was 800 years ago and the start of the world government. So the theory is that the world government eradicated whatever was before so that they can control the world or whatever. So if people know this history, then something. So then they kill the dude that was talking and they're like, oh my god, super shocked. And then they're like, okay, kill everyone. And then they're about to leave. And then Nico Robin sees like the woman and is like, are you mother? And then like she doesn't answer because she wants to protect her. And it's like, I can never claim to be your mother again. And she's getting like flashback to how she grew up terribly because her mother left. And then she's like, I'm Robin, I've grown some, but you remember me. I waited all this time for you to come home. And she's crying and saying that she studied. I studied really hard and I became an archaeologist. I can read the polyglyphs too. And she's saying this aloud. And they're all like, what? So That's not good. At the same time, they're burning that tree with all the knowledge, and the people in the village are trying to put it out, but I don't think it's going out well. Great. Now we have chapter 396, Saul. I'm not sad. I'm good. I'm fine. Okay, so Nico Robin and Olivia got a hug, and she says she's so proud of her, and that she needs to go and protect her history, and go out in the world. Saul comes and, like, they know each other, so that's how it happened. Because she's also like, what are you doing here? She grabs Nico Robin in his hands, and then he's gonna go and take her to, like, the evacuation ship. Her mother says that she can't go with her. She still has stuff to do. I'm a bit confused of what, like, who went where. It seems like she's on the ship. I don't even know where she is. No, she's in a prison. When did she get into prison? Because she was going to be arrested at first, because like, she had knowledge that no one else had. But then I decided to leave her, and she's saying that you guys are just scared for history. You don't even know. Saul is being hit by a cannon in his face. He's running with Nico Robin in his hands. Then he leaves the ship, which I assume is a government ship, but I thought at first it was the evacuation ship. Olivia told him that he would never be able to join the force again. So I don't know what kind of force he was part of. The Marine Force? I don't know. But he left the ship and it was cool. Now we had 397 in the hopes of reaching the future. I'm just sad. It's sad. That was actually super sad. I'm laughing with the pain. So Saul is like fighting. He's trying to keep up Admiral Aoki. That's not the name. Admiral Aokiji now. And he's like, go to the evacuation ship. The people, they don't want to let her on. There's like, she's a monster. So she runs a bit like off, and then actually the evacuation ship explodes, because they're like, if any scholars escapes there, then it would have been over. But like, I think it was also an accident, so all the like the innocent people died, but they were actually douchebags. But still, she's like trying to run, and Saul is protecting her and telling that one day she will meet friends. You will be alone now, but one day you will meet friends, which obviously is the Straw Hats. She just was 20 years alone. And then Aoki says that he's going to let her go. He's curious about his seed. And now she's going on the raft of Saul out into the world. But he lets her go. Very interesting, actually. It was a really sad fight. He was just protecting her, but then he let her go anyway. So she went out into the world alone. And now we have 398, Declaration of War. Oh, I'm making weird noises. So Robin has now told this whole story to everyone. And she's saying that even if you guys want to rescue me now, I'm too much of a burden, and one day I will be too much of a burden, and you guys will get rid of me. And then Luffy's like, I understand now. I know who your enemy is. And that because the dude is talking about how like the flag represents all these nations, etc. Like that you're against a world government. You're not gonna go against the world government for one woman. And then Luffy's like, snap a king, shoot down the flag. And he shoots down the flag, which basically apparently means a declaration of war towards the world government. And they're all like super shocked that he would do this. And he's like, now Robin, say it. Say that you want to live. And then she starts crying. And she says, I want to live. And they're all like super shocked. And then Luffy's just literally like, let's go. Before that, we did see her like go through years of like coming to safety and then people betraying her or letting her go because like I was going to say her bounty was so big, but now she found people that don't care. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. Chapter 399, jump toward the waterfall. Okay. So, Frankie takes a bat. He takes all the blueprints for like that weapon and is like, destroys them in front of everyone because he says that if you don't have Nico Robin to read the polygraphs, if you don't have this blueprint, then you don't have anything, and I'm betting on the Straw Hat Pirates to win. And then the dude gets really, really mad at him for destroying the blueprint, so he throws them down into this waterfall thing. And everyone is like, oh my god. And then he also sees that his family came to get him and starts crying, right before that. And then Luffy, and he's like, I smell running water or something. And then he grabs all of his Rock crew and jumps into the waterfall after them. I didn't get if Nico Robin also went in with them. I'm a bit unsure. But they're all into the water now. Bro, Frankie bro, they said. So then the train comes flying actually in the air as well, and is going into the building where they are. But I'm confused because they all jumped into the waterfall. What about Nico Robin? I don't know. But either way, we are actually on volume 42 already. We have the volume is called Pirates versus CP9, and we have chapter 400. What? That's insane. The key to freedom. Let's go. as was super hard to predict earlier. They all get one person each to fight from the CP9. The reason Luffy took them all into the waterfall is because he knew the train was coming, so they landed on the train. They came to the other side because there was like a drawbridge thing that didn't manage to pull all the way down. Nico Robin is trapped in these like sea cuffs things that like makes her powers useless. And then this person from the CP9 comes forward. And it's like, we all have a key each. You need to get the right key to get her out of them, or else you will never get her out of those cuffs. But can we just get Nico Robin back and then be like, whatever, screw these people. But then they say they would throw the keys into the sea and then probably won't find them again. So one of them suggests that Luffy would go ahead after Nico Robin, while the others take on one of the CP9 each. I'm like, how's that gonna go? They're like super, super powerful. How are they gonna be able to beat them when, like, I don't know, like Nami, who's just normal. But I mean, I'm not gonna underestimate anyone, but you know what I mean. So Luffy's going off while the others are fighting one each. Let's see, and then we all like setting up one person from each thing. So I assume that's what we're going to see now. So now we have chapter 401, Pirate versus CP9. So we have Luffy running after them, and then he can't really find them. He said he had taken them to the Gates of Justice. So let's see if he finds them. We have Zoro fighting with one of the people. I don't remember the names. They are slashing their swords. We have Usopp arriving at the person who's asleep. He wants to take the key because he's just lying there, but then like a chicken warns him, and he wakes up and turns into this huge wolf thing. And then it's like, oh, but then there is a giraffe falling through the roof. But I don't know who that is. But he fell to the roof and it interrupted his fight. And he said, like, I was trying to use my man-beast form, but I turned into a full giraffe instead. And then we see Zoro saying, a wolf, what is this kind of zoo? But I didn't know that Zoro was in that fight. So was that the person he was fighting? I think so, because he has the cap on. So while they were sword slashing, he tried to turn into beast form, but he tried to turn into giraffe instead. But were they the people who ate the fruits earlier and don't know their powers? I don't remember, actually. So their fights are intervening. So now we have chapter 402, handcuffs number 2. In this fight, Usopp managed to get some handcuffs that he was going to put on the people they're fighting because they have devil fruit powers. He accidentally put it on Zoro instead, and then accidentally put him on the other side. So now they are connected. And then they need to find a key, but all the keys have numbers on them to connect to handcuffs. So they need number 2, but if 2 people they're fighting and don't have number 2 key, so then they see Chopper and tells him to go and get a key. And then Chopper is running after Sanji because he seems that Sanji got one first. It's interesting because I actually kind of hope they get all these handcuffs and keys because that would be really useful for them to have later. They are in that fight. And then we have Nami who's fighting someone alone, and then it's not, well, going that great. And we also have Sanji who's being seduced by this lady. Yeah, being kicked ass a bit. And then we have, again, Luffy. He found the gates, but there's like sea and the gates in between. And he doesn't know, like, really how to get across because there's a lot of waves. And, you know, if he falls into the water, that would not be good. So, yeah. Usopp and Zoro being idiots. I love it. So we have 403 Mr. Chivalry. That's not how you say the word, but I can't pronounce it. It's not chivalry, but I just don't know how to pronounce it right now. Let's go. Love to see it. Love to see it. Okay, so Sanji's fighting the Khalifa, and she says if you can't resist this move, you're gonna go down. But then we switch over to Nami, who's being kicked ass by like the octopus dude. And Chopper comes over and it's like, are you okay? And then they're gonna run off, and then Chopper's like, you need a key, and she's like, I swiped this key earlier, and it's number 3. So was number 3? I don't know what number they needed actually. Was it number 2 they needed? I don't know. And then Sanji falls down through the roof through them, and they're like, did you actually lose? And he says that because of his, like, chivalry, I can't say the word, he can't kick a woman. And she says that she's impressed, but that you should have just kicked her. And then Nami says, will not hold back, so I will take you. And then we have Luffy almost drowning because he's trying to get over through that boat because, like, the boat just sank. There was a boat there when he was going to go to the gates. There's some kids that show him an underwater passage, and then we see him gear 3, and they're like, wow. And then we didn't actually see how it looked like when he did the gear 3, but it did get down like an iron gate, and then he turns into a tiny kid. So I don't know what's going on, but we shall see. So we have 404, which is Frankie versus Fukuro. So Luffy does grow back again. I don't know why he became tiny. I have no idea. But maybe he used so much energy his body can't take it. Then we see Frankie fighting the dude, and he gets some juice from Chopper to get his energy refreshed again. So he's fighting, well, It was in a chapter title, wasn't it? Fukuro. Now we have 405. Power. Who's Power? I guess we will see. We still just have Frankie fighting this person. And I'm considering that since they are kind of almost beating them, that like, if they can beat them, then it means that they're almost as powerful, like, as one of the people in CP9. So I thought that was interesting. And we have Chopper and this trying to, I don't even know what it was trying to do. Something. But it was literally just a fight between two of them. I don't even know what more to say. And then they're almost falling down in this, I was gonna say, hole. Which was one of the holes that was like surrounding the island earlier. So we have 406, life return. Meanwhile, we have, so we're gonna use Usopp as his sword because like he's holding one of his swords and then he's holding Sora up because obviously his hand is not free, which is so stupid. And then we have Chopper trying to help in this fight. That is, I don't even know how it's going. It is flying everywhere. He just is trying to get his key for his friends because they are being silly. But is he now finding the octopus here, dude? I thought we were finding someone else. Guess he also showed up. This fight was a bit confusing to me because that was the one who was like holding Nami earlier. But I don't even know what Nami and Sanji are doing. No, Nami's gonna fight the lady. You see. So we have 407, which is Monster. Chopper is fighting his bestest. He is fighting strong. And he became like huge. He was like at his limit and became huge. And it was really cool. But the key that that person had was not the right key. Which means that the key they actually need is a lot. I mean, in theory, they need all the keys. Because they don't know which of the keys on the number that Nico Robin has. Nami is like with Khalifa. And then she's taking a bath. Not Nami, but Khalifa. And then Nami was just lying on the floor, not being able to move at first. I feel like all like the question corners and like the, I was gonna say the art of Nami sometimes is a bit fan service, and like people are just asking about her boob size all the time, and I'm like, geez, people, can you calm down? But I feel like Oda's like kind of making fun of them. I'm not even sure, but this is definitely a bit of a fan service scene when Khalifa is like bathing. But either way, Nami's using her weapon against her, and we shall see if she can win. So we have 408 Monster versus Kumadori. Nami is struggling because the woman's power, Khalifa's power, is that everything she touches becomes smooth, so she can't like move her legs and stuff because they become like smooth. And then we have Chopper in a huge fight where they're both like huge fighting each other. And Chopper looks really cool, actually. He looks really cool. So that is interesting fight. And then we have Luffy almost catching up because we have Nico Robin and the others like being walked off further ahead. And then we see him meet the pigeon dude, which is Lucio. Yes, director, please take Nico Robin. So now he is meeting him, and Nico Robin is like ahead with the director, who is the one that was burned. I don't know if things are even going well, honestly. But it will work out. 409 is the terrifying broadcast and the last one in this volume. Okay, so we have Nico Robin accidentally activating that snail that activates a buster call that calls all like navies nearby and also broadcasts to everyone in the city. And he says that just come and kill everyone. And she's like, you idiot, everyone will die, not just like the people you want to be stopped. Everyone here will die. And he's like, I don't care. Well, no matter what it takes, we should stop the pirates here. And everyone on the island can hear this. And the people that works for him are like, what do you mean? He's just going to sacrifice us? So it seems like they all want to now try to start evacuating because like, well, they don't want to die. And then Nami's like, we're used to situations like this. Luffy attacks Lucio and their fights have just started, and he was the one with 4,000 power rights. So we shall see how that goes. I mean, Luffy hasn't eaten in ages, so I honestly don't know. But that is how volume 42 ends, which is now officially, now One Piece is the one manga I read the most of all my mangas. Seriously, I'm in the middle of a lot of them. So yeah. So the last of 47, at least according to the omnibuses, is 43, 44, and 45, which I am not going to start today, but I will start soon. Hopefully tomorrow, but life. And we are on volume 43, which is Legend of a Hero, which starts with 410, which is Super Size Nami, which I'm obviously super excited for. So, see you soon. We see Luffy fighting one of the people, the CP9 people. Because he's like, Robin is past the door and he's like, you'll never see her again. And they're fighting. We see people trying to evacuate. Nami's fighting Khalifa, who was like using her powers on her. She made her like, I was gonna say, she removed all like everything inside of her so that she's like all flat. And then Nami keeps disappearing and she can't see her. I don't understand how Nami did that, but fine. And then Chopper shows up huge, and then she's like, she's supersized. She got powers too. And we see Nami being like, what? Because it's obviously not her, it's Chopper. So, lol. So we have chapter 411, which is Nami versus Khalifa. Chopper doesn't recognize anyone right now when he's huge, so he like tried to make some havoc, I was gonna say, or squished almost Nami, but then he ran off, and then Nami was going to go after him, but Khalifa stopped her. And then Nami realized that she can get her body normal again by getting wet, because you wash up soap with water. And then she makes many mirages of herself and attacks her with different, like, I was going to say, thunderballs from her staffing. And then she doesn't know which one is real, and Khalifa gets hit. Look at Nami being so smart and resourceful, as she always is. Love to see that. What is up with Chopper though? Want to know that. But now we have 412. You missed your chance. And Nami is like a forecast lady in like her tax, and then does beat Khalifa, and I get number 2, which was the key they needed. We had Chopper attacking Zoro and Usopp, but then Frankie shows up and kicks Chopper into the water outside so that like he can't attack them anymore. And then now Zoro is free, and he's looking over to 2 people they were fighting. It's like, that was the only chance to beat me, because now we are getting serious. And I'm like, okay, I'll accept this. Chapter 413 is Hunter. We get a tiny flashback to Nami and Frankie agreeing that he will go after Luffy with 2 keys, and then Nami will help Zoro and Usopp. I think Zoro was like swinging around and looking super cool, and then I think he got beaten down for a moment. And then he grabs Usopp, because one of like the wolf CP9 people tended to surrender, but he didn't really. And Usopp gets like stabbed. He has like a huge hand and like stabs little Usopp. And I'm like, no. And Nami's like, don't kill him. I don't need your key. Don't kill him. And then he was like, well, you're next. Haha. And then right before he is gonna squeeze Usopp out of life, someone kicks him really hard. And then they're like, who are you? The hunter. And it's Sanji coming to the rescue. Love to see it. Love how they all work together. Love everything. And also, we did see Frankie taking Chopper out of the water. So he's fine. Everyone is always fine. It's all good. It's all good. Chapter 414, Sanji versus Yabra. Okay, so we see the gates soon opening, and when they get open, they will go into the Navy headquarters, and then Robin will go in there. So then it will be too late. But I'm like, can't they just go in there as well afterwards? If they were too late. I don't know. But we have basically Sanji fighting it out with this wolf dude, and he is like kicking, and they're being attacking, and they're really, really super cool. He did say very like directly that as long as Usopp is there, we will save Nico Robin. And I was like, and then Usopp said, I get it now. And I'm like, I don't get it. I'm stupid, so I don't get it. And then again, the wolf did try to be like, okay, Nico Robin is my little sister, so you can go and take the key, and then like try to trick Sanji. But then Sanji got it and I kicked him up in a roof far away. So yeah, but 10 Navy ships are on the way, so they need to hurry. I don't know what's gonna happen, but they need to hurry. 415 is heat up. Okay, so we just have not Zoro, Sanji, the wolf dude flying around kicking, and then Sanji got in like a huge explosive kick, because he said that the harder he gets in there, the stronger his kicks become. Is it because he's a chef? Because like he's making food? I don't know. I'm just joking around. So now we have chapter 416, which is Zoro versus Kaku, which was the giraffe dude, I think. Let's go. I don't have that much to say when they're fighting, but let's go. So Frankie arrives at the gates where Luffy is still fighting Lucy, I don't remember the name. And he says that he needs to go on while Luffy takes care of him, because they're still fighting, so that he can give the keys to Nico Robin. And then we switch over to Zoro having his fight with the giraffe. And it's going like up and down. There's a lot of swinging with swords. Very cool, very cool. I don't think you actually expect me to describe the fight in detail, but Zoro is, my fave, so love to see it. I feel like everyone is, getting their own fight. Zoro, Nami, Sanji, and then obviously Luffy to the end. What about Usopp? Is he not gonna get his own fight? Just saying. 417 is Asura. Let's go. There was a lot of slicing and attacking again, and then in the end, Zoro did use Sora Silver Mist. It looks really, really cool. It looks like he has like 6 arms. Did he get 6 arms at a point? He did! Sorry. This demon aura 9 sword style. 9 swords. She just like got many arms, and then he's looking really, really cool. So, how does that work? Why can he do that? I know we're in a fantasy story, but I don't know. There's like, Nami's weapon that is really powerful. I was thinking about it earlier. I'm like, why doesn't just use or make his own super powerful weapon? Who knows? Chapter 418 is Luffy versus Rob Lucy. So we're getting to the final fight, maybe? I honestly don't know. I never know with One Piece, but that's probably gonna last a couple of chapters. So the gates are soon opening, or they are open, they are soon opening, and then the dude wants to take Robin with him, but she's like lying down, binding the bridge, holding on to not go a step further, because she's like, if I just hold on a bit longer, the others will come and save me! Emotions, either way. And then we have Luffy going up to Gear 2 again, and he says he can't hold it for that long, but he can hold him. And I'm like, when can he do all this? We never got an explanation. They just suddenly happened, but okay, we are rolling apparently. And then Frankie did manage to run past Lucy. So, Lucy, whatever we say. And then the chapter ended. So, let's go. 419 is Legend of a Hero. This made me so happy. I don't know why. So the dude that is like holding Nico Robin, I don't remember his name. We're gonna go back and check if it's here. Yeah, Director Spandam. He says that he was the son of the one who like was the commander when her island got ruined. He's like, how does it feel that the sun arrested you? Haha. And he's like dragging her because she's like lying around, using all her strength to like not move. And then for a second, it looks like Frankie reached her, but then he's like, it looks like he was exploded away. And then she's like, he came to save me. And then she thinks it's over. But then someone shoots on them. And it's like super far away on the top of a tower. Usopp is standing there giving the shots of his life. And I love it. And they're like, how is he hitting from this distance? How? And then Nico Robin sees this. And it's like, it's long nose. And I'm like, okay. She runs off a bit because like he lost her. They're like, shoot her. And then they're about to shoot her. But then Frankie stands in front of her and protects her because he's made of metal, as we know, or parts of him is. And then Usopp says that there's a special delivery in this like red cloth where they have now all the keys. And we know that Nico Robin's very powerful. So let's go, people. Then also, Zoro actually says we should hurry, this doesn't look good because all the Navy ships are coming. So yeah, they should hurry. Then we have a popularity poll actually. First place went to Luffy. Love to see that. And then there was many other people. Wow. Okay, so we were actually done with that volume. So we're going to volume 44. Let's go back. Oh my god, they like blacked out all of the people that are defeated. So love that. And we are going to chapter 420, Buster Call. So they already started bombing a bit, the Navy ships. They almost hit Usopp, but he fell down and survived. And Nico Robin did give a little beating to the dude who held her. Because she's free now! From the handcuffs! Yay! We love to see it. And then the dude, Lucy, tells Luffy like that was only a warning shot. The underwater tunnel will be flooded. It's impossible. But I basically explained to us what Luffy does when he gears up. But you pump your legs and speed up your blood flow. The blood pressure will rupture a normal person's heart, but Luffy can do it because everything of him is made of rubber. But it should kill him, and it can kill him, or like it's a bit dangerous, I guess. At least keep it up for long. And Luffy's like, well, it's better than nothing. And then Lucy is like, well, strength is not gonna make you win this fight. But let's see about that, dude. And then Luffy does get a bit worried when he talks about like how they're not gonna be able to escape. But the Buster Call has started. And we are then going to chapter 421, which is Gear 3. Wasn't that when he became a tiny baby then? Let's see. So everyone is running. They're in the underwater tunnel who's starting to flood. And Luffy says that he knows the others will be fine. But if I let my eyes off you, Lucy, you go after and kill them. So I'm going to keep eyes on you. And they're fighting. He does the gear tree, bites his finger, and his arm becomes ginormous. Like the biggest arm in the whole world. And he kicks Lucy out of the building. Like, he's flying. He is flying. Look at him. He's flying away. So, yeah. 422 is Rob Lucy. Let's see. Now think about the fact that Lucy had like really high, level of power. Wasn't it like 4,000 or something? And the fact that Luffy can keep up with him. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Okay, either way. So, they're fighting. The others in the tunnel got like captured by the water. Not captured, but like the water hit them. But I'm sure they will be fine. So at the point, they try to like saw down the wall, but slice down the wall. But he says it's not stone or steel. So, it's probably is reinforced. The dude, Lucy, didn't land on the water. He landed in a ship. And then Luffy just went after him and is attacking him hard. We got like a tiny like flashback of Lucy where it's like there was this kid that like did everything to defeat people, and he said that if he's in there, we don't really need to do much. And that turns out to be Lucy because like he had these scars on his back, and his shirt got ripped off, so we got to see the scars on him in the future. So, yeah, I don't know how this fight is gonna go, but I'm sure we'll go fine. Chapter 423, Mermaid Legend. What is going on? Okay, first of all, Luffy is trying to hide because he's small again after using that much power. And then he does get found, but like then he's already grown big again, so he cannot fight again. And then we still have Frankie and Nico Robin standing on a bridge, and lots of people are attacking them. And then it's like, are you sure they're coming? And she's like, I'm sure. So they are trying to hold back, like the little people are trying to stop them. But I'm like, can't they just beat them on their own? They just fought like super powerful people. I'm sure they can beat like the small brigades that are standing on the bridge. I actually don't know who is on the bridge. Maybe it's actually like the whole Navy fleet. I am actually not sure. But he's like, he said that his dream had always been to take revenge on the Navy after they killed Tom, and now he finally got his dream fulfilled because of the Shy Crew. And that is what they do, they fulfill dreams. And it's fine. But yeah, and then they're like in the underwater tunnel, right? And they're all like drowning because like they're all underwater, like floating in the tunnel. And then like they see a glimpse of something that grabs them and saves them. And they're like, what is that? It's a mermaid, but it is I think the old lady that did the train, right? Kotaro, is that her name? Is that her? Because it looks like her. She did the train and was like the secretary for Tom, right? Right? Or is it someone else? I just thought it was her. Then we have 424, Escape Ship. Oh, are we finally leaving? I'm not saying finally as I want it to be over, but like I don't want anyone to get hurt. They need to get out of here. Okay, so Nico Robin and Frankie did manage to fight through that brigade, and they landed on the ship, and they are standing there waiting for everyone to come. Then the mermaid lady, who's not really a mermaid lady, I think she talked about like, if you know more about fish people, you will understand more. And I do wonder if we will see more of them, because like, there's definitely some politics and like the way they've been treated that needs to be addressed. She brought everyone to the ship except Luffy, obviously. So they're all standing there waiting. And then they're like, should we go and help Luffy? But then Zoro said something about what if they got all separate again and then we might lose our escape route. So they're standing there waiting. And then the two giants, that were tricked at the gates, they carried like everyone out, like all the Frankie family. And I think they were just hit by a huge cannon. So I hope they're all fine. I'm not sure. And then we switch back to Luffy's fight again. He geared up to gear 2 once again. So let's see. But everyone is together again. They all hugged Robin. They're very happy. Chopper did say he can't move. So they're like, we will explain soon. So yeah, that is also a thing. And now we are going to 425, Bridge of Mortal Kombat. I'm unsure. But the Navy ships do announce that everyone on the island is dead. Except Luffy, obviously, and Lucy. And I'm like, did everyone die? Did the giants die and the whole of Frankie family die? And like everyone that knew. I don't know if they're actually dead or they're just like hiding in the rubbles, ruins. I don't know if they're actually dead. Like I don't believe that people die. I mean, obviously we have actually seen people die. Scapia happened, you know. But I'm like, but are they dead? I don't know. Are they dead? I don't know. But they seem a bit sad. They're standing, they're still waiting for Luffy. I'm like, why is no one attacking this ship? But they did say that they will probably attack them after they ruined the whole island. But wasn't that like their headquarters and now they're ruining it? I'm so confused. But either way, they all seem very sad that if they're actually dead. And then we have Luffy, and Luffy's still fighting. They're going all out. And then we see Usopp being like, he won't die, will he? Question mark. And I'm like, of course not. But like, I know he's not dead because there's more One Piece after this. But I'm like, did everyone die like the whole other people? I don't know. But yeah, I'm nervous. Chapter 426, a ship waiting for wind. I don't like this. I don't like this. So they are, all the ships turn their attention to their ship because 9 pirates has been spotted. And they have devil fruit powers. They are like maybe on the same level as Smoker, and they all jump down onto their ship. But before that, Luffy just turned his attention to them a bit. They're like, we will be fine, defeat the dude, and we're here waiting for you. And then they are like in a huge fight with like loads of people coming at them, and it looks insane while Luffy's still doing his fight. But now he was just knocked down, and it seems like he's losing. And then we see Usopp screaming like, Luffy! And then maybe he was using sniping powers to like save him. I don't know. It's not going well for any of them. There's like the full might of the Navy against them right now. I'm nervous. So chapter 427, this is the afterlife. What does that mean? I don't like that title. I am like terrified someone will die right now, and they're not allowed to die. No one can die. Ever. I'm trying to hold back my tears. So Usopp gave Luffy a little pep talk. He was like, this is not the afterlife. Stop lying there. You said you were going to defeat him, so get up. This is not the afterlife. And Luffy does get up because like he looked up, he's a bit defeated. And then he uses like a huge attack. And the dude was like, haha. And then the last announcement of the chapter is calling all the ship. The Pirate Straw Hat Luffy has just defeated CP9's Rob Lucy. And when he was fighting, he was like thinking back on Nico Robin's past and being like how no one was there for her and like how she wants to live, and just like really like that fueled him to that last attack, and it looked really cool. I just love them so much. Okay, so now we have chapter 428. Let's go back. Okay, let's do it. But did the others die? I still don't know, but okay. Like the Remy family. Not the Remy family. The Frankie family. I don't know. But either way, let's go. I'm not gonna cry, but I almost did. Oh, okay. So they are trapped because they ruined the ship that they were gonna escape on, and then Luffy is lying there, can't move. And then also, by the way, the Frankie family survived. They just were hanging by their treads nut things outside the cliff. And then they're just like, what are we gonna do? Luffy can move, and then all the pirates are gonna like take them, not pirates, Navy. And then they're like, what is that voice? I can hear this voice. What is it? Everyone look down. And then Usopp is like, jump into the sea, Luffy, jump into the sea. Or like Nico Robin is gonna push him with her hand things because Luffy can't move. And then everyone is like, we're gonna jump. And then the Navy is like, why? That's not gonna help. And then out of the sea comes Mary. She came to save them. She's there. I came for you. She talks. What? I don't even know what to say. That is so cute. Even though they abandoned her, but it's fine. But yeah, everyone was really confused. I was also like, I don't understand. Also, earlier, Sanji was out of the fight and he just left, and we were like, what's going on? And then he suddenly arrived and he said that he had to do something. I think he saved some of like the people in the tunnel, or did he go to do something else? I have no idea, but he's back. Either way, Mary is there. Let's go. 429 is utter defeat. Interesting. They did it! I'm so happy! They did it! Okay, so they all let Mary go, and all the cannons like goes towards them. And they're like, there's no way that all these cannons are gonna miss. And they do, because they're out of position. Because when Sanji ran off, he opened like a lever, which meant that all the gates are closing again. And that's like a whirlpool outside the island, and that whirlpool comes back, so all the ships is like not necessarily sinking into it immediately, but they are being hit by that, and the merry-go can go and sail anywhere. Then they actually throw a huge cannon at them. Not throw, they shoot a huge cannon at them. And Sanji And Zoro takes Luffy's body, like his arms and legs, and like capture the cannon inside his Gum Gum body and like flings it back at them. And it looks so stupid. Like, I love it so much. It was incredible. They shoot like a lot of feet away, and they're like, how are they gonna manage that? And then Usopp is like, just so you know, Marigold has flown 30,000 feet in the air. This is nothing. And they all go away. They're like, oh, do we follow? And one of the people, I think it was Okiji, says that, well, this was our other defeat fall, so no. And then the dude who like won a Nico Robin stands there and screaming, and then she attacks him, which he totally deserves. And the merry-go came for them, and I'm so happy. And they're also really happy. They got away. And then also like the Frankie family is on the train, the Tom Tom train, so they also got away. Happiness is real, guys. Happiness is real. It's now in theory in this island over, and then in theory a new arc is starting. But like, we are gonna complete this thing, because that's what I do. So we have chapter 430, A Light Snow of Reminisce Falls. Aww. I'm not crying. I'm not crying, okay? But they meet another ship with the Frankie family, where also Mr. Iceberg is. Forgot he existed. And then the merry-go suddenly creaks in the middle. And then they're like, was she falling apart? Because she wasn't deemed for sailing in the first place. But she got to stay with them and say goodbye one last time. Iceberg also apparently had like this vision where he met her in the ocean, I think. And was like, I want to go one last time and sail and save them. But I didn't really understand if that happened right before or whatever. But they burned the ship because they don't want her to sink to the ocean where Stark and Sad alone. So they're all crying and saying goodbye. And she said, thank you for caring about me. And burns up. And it's also snowing. That was really sad. I feel like if I watch the anime, or when eventually this happens in season 14 of the live action, I feel like I might cry then, because it depends how they set up the scene. But right now I'm holding my tears back. And now we are done with that volume. We're going to volume 45. You have my sympathies. Am I just ready to move on? Apparently, let's go. We have chapter 431, A Fist of Love. I guess they need a new ship now. So are they going back to Water 7 to get a new ship? They should. Let's go. I mean, that Mr. Iceberg and them do this. They deserve to get a free ship at this point, I think. Yeah. Okay, so here it finally came in. After watching the live action, obviously when it was released last August, which is now a long time ago, I did know that Garp was Luffy's grandfather, and I have been waiting for him to show up. I did see someone say that he shows up around in chapters like 400 something. We are on 431, or now soon 432. So I knew kind of was coming in this area. But actually, my favorite part of like arcs, the way that this is set up, is always the aftermath more than like the actual fight. Because like when we are fighting, I just like know the fight will go well, even though it looks cool. But I always curious what will happen after, what are the decisions and the build-ups between it. That's like always my favorite part, because I love to see people recuperate and how they changed in like the last part. But either way, so they're all back at Water 7 and they're like gonna rebuild the town. Iceberg wants to make a, what's it called, and say like he wants to make the island into a ship, so I think he can survive the Laguna thing better. And then we have them like being sad that they lost all the stuff and all the money in like the Laguna. But the Tangerine trees for Nami survived because they were confiscated. And then also, apparently Frankie bought like a huge tree for like 200 million berries with their money that he wanted to build a dream ship out of that can sail on any seas. And he says that he's going to build this ship. Do you guys want to sail it? And they're like, yes. So they're going to get a ship. Well, in theory, with their own money. But he's going to build it and it's going to be great. And then suddenly Admiral Garp is at Water 7 and then Luffy is still asleep because he has taught himself to eat while sleeping because he doesn't want to miss any meals. And he got punched in the face and is like, wow, that hurt! And then he's like, you seem to be causing a lot of trouble, well, Luffy. And then he takes off his like weird hat. And then we see Luffy being like, Grandpa! And then everyone in the room is like, Grandpa! Exactly like the show, just that obviously that happened way too early. I think that still was a choice, by the way, like talking about the live action, because while I do think actually like the marine parts of the live action took too much screen time in general, since we already had so limited screen time for the grand story we're gonna tell. I don't know why Garp needed to be introduced all so early. Like, that was a choice, I just don't know why. I guess they wanted to show like pirates and marines from the get-go. Considering how late he shows up here, it was a choice. That's all I'm saying. So now we have chapter 432, Jack in the Box, which is also a game I never played, but I just thought about it. There is a lot of information in this chapter. I was trying to like hold the pages so that I can have a bit of an overview. First of all, Garp and Luffy is as stupid as each other. They both fall asleep while they're still fighting, kinda. And then they're saying that, because he's looking for Shanks, at least Garp is asking about Shanks. Among all the countless pirates, he's considered to be the same level as Whitebeard, which is really funny how we kind of saw Shanks being all like really like level-headed and really like not like a bad pirate, but like a kind pirate, like living on like Luffy's Isle for a little while, really like chill. Considering if he's like super high level is weird to me, which is why like Deceptions is like so interesting. They're saying that he's one of the 4 greatest pirates in the world who live in the second half of the Grand Line. They rule the land there with an iron grip. People call them the 4 emperors. The navy and the several warlords of the sea are allied like, together against these 4 pirates. So I guess Shanks is one of them, and is Whitebeard one of them, and then probably 2 more. And then we always heard that 7 warlords of the sea are, you know, the strongest ones, but then these 4 are even stronger. Interesting. This is more world building. I find this very interesting. I will try to remember my best. And then Zoro is lost, and then he's on his way back, and then there's 2 people that Garp like say to Zoro, attack them, and then he does, and then obviously Zoro and Luffy comes in to help, and they own them, and then Garp is like, stand down, and it turns out that was Kobe and Halpeppo, who we know obviously, as I know from the live action, they were with Garp this whole time, but in the manga we haven't seen them in a long while, and Kobe looks so different, and Halpeppo looks as stupid as always, and it was really weird to see them again here, comparing it to like the live action where we had to see them the whole time, and I was like, are we done with them now? Sorry, not really sorry. I kind of ship them, but okay. Then apparently Garp says, oh, and also you met your father, and he's like, what? Who's my father? And apparently Luffy has never known this, and his father is apparently Monkey D. Dragon, the revolutionary, and I don't even remember us meeting him. He said that he met him back in Rogue Town, and Rogue Town was that all the way back before we left for the Grand Line, when we met for the first time that girl with the swords that I always will forget the name of. Right? And I don't remember who we met there. We met a lot of people there. And then everyone is super shocked that the revolutionary dragon has a son, and Luffy doesn't even know who it is. And I don't even know who it is, but I don't know if we were supposed to. And then Nico Robin explains, pirates usually don't attack the government or navy on their own, but there is a force that is trying to directly challenge the world government. That's the revolutionary army. The man who's leading them is Dragon, who is apparently Luffy's father. And he's like, oh. And the guard was like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Well, now you know. And everyone seems pretty shocked. So it's very interesting that Garp is like a leader, super cool person in the navy, and then both of his like his son and his grandson is working kind of against the government. So very interesting. And yeah, I didn't know this at all. And then, I mean, the dragon has 2 sons, because he also has Ace. Unless they don't share a father, they might just share a mother. I don't know anything. We have 433, the name of that sea. I'm feeling so much happiness. So Garp leaves, but before that, Kobe and Luffy have a talk, and then Kobe just reveals stuff to Luffy, and he's being like, we can travel to the Calm Line in the Grand Line by like having these things on the ships or something. And then Nami is just like listening in and like taking notes of everything, which is super clever of her. And then Kobe says he wants to be an admiral in the army, that then one day we fight there on the other side of the Grand Line, because we're on one side, and then if you go to the opposite, there is also where Shanks is, as we said. And then yeah, so they say they will meet there again in the future, and it's always like, Luffy's setting up strong enemies for himself in the future. It's really interesting. He's saying that that place is called the New World. I assume we will go there eventually. And then we have a barbecue. It's like a party with a barbecue that's Tanya made for everyone. And then suddenly someone is talking to Nico Robin in an alleyway, or Kiji, and he's saying just like, I had decided to let you live because O'Hara was my friend. Through you, he was still alive. And he's like, and I always wondered if like that was the right choice. I wanted that story to end in Innis Island, but then you started to fight, and like, have you found a place now? And she's like, yes. And then I don't know, he walks off. And then we suddenly switch over to Grand Line Sacred Land of Morio. And it says that one of the 4 emperors, red-haired Shanks, has broken through the lines and finally made direct contact with Whitebeard. So I think that Whitebeard then is not part of the, like, emperors. He's just one of the 7 warlords of the sea. Now we need to differentiate between this. So maybe we'll see Whitebeard talk to Shanks. But I thought that Whitebeard was stronger. Not stronger, but like one of the strongest, because Ace works for him, right? But I guess it's the wall for like emperors even stronger than the warlords, or like they're on the same level. I don't even know. Doesn't matter. I don't know. But either way, we have 434, which is Whitebeard and Red Hair. So maybe we see them talk. I miss Shanks. Love him. Now I don't remember if Ace works for Blackbeard or Whitebeard, because apparently they're 2 different people. But Shanks arrives. He has like a hockey era that people just passes out when he comes. People get so relaxed when they see him, they just pass out. And he then talks to Whitebeard, and he's saying that, like, they're talking a bit about how he sacrificed his arm, like, how did you lose that? And he said, I did it for a new era. And apparently Shanks was an apprentice on Golden Roger's ship. But I know we were an apprentice, but did we know it was for the last Pirate King, together with Ruggy, as we know? So maybe that's why he cared about Luffy, because it was the son of his old captain. Oh, not son, sorry, I'm spoiling it, because apparently Luffy's father was the dragon. But he must have been related to Gold Roger somehow, since they have D in the name. I just assumed he would be the son, but he's not the son. Unless Garp is lying. But they're talking about how, like, the only thing that bothers him is, like, the scar that now Shanks has. And that he was giving it to by one in his crew. And that, like, he eventually will go against Whitebeard. But then he was like, but what do you want from me? It's like, I want you to stop Ace. And then he was like to pit those 2 against each other, I feel like. I was actually a bit confused. Didn't understand. He said, stop Ace and then don't go after Blackbeard. That's my only request. I was so confused of why you want to stop Ace and what that had to do with anything. But then the Whitebeard was like, people in my crew, I cannot make them kill each other. And then like they have like an attack in the middle that like literally splits the heavens because they were so strong and people were shocked. I don't really know what they agreed on and what Shanks actually wanted, but whatever. We are now back to Grand Line in a certain island. And we have like some of the pirates that I think were hunting Luffy and the others, knowing where they can go now. And then Ace is like, hey, I've been looking for you. And then the scene ends. So I don't know. So now we have 435. You have my sympathies. Okay. So they have 5 days to chill on the island because they need to wait for the ship to be finished. Luffy wants to get some allowance, but he doesn't get any. And then they're talking about how the next island they're going to go to goes downwards. That's the underwater paradise, Fishman Island. But before they get there, apparently they need to get to some scary, the Florian Triangle, where like a lot of ships sink. And they might meet some ghost ships there. I love the ghost ships trope, so let's go. And then they're being called to look at their ship, the new ship. But before that, I can see like their bounty posters. Now everyone has a poster. So Luffy is 300 million berries. Zoro is 120. Nico Robin is 80. Nami, Cat Burglar, that is her title, is 16 million. And then Sniper King is 30 million. Chopper is 50 million. And Sanji, who apparently doesn't have a photo and looks terrible, is 77 million. That is a lot! And everyone is happy. And then apparently Frankie has 44 million on him. And now he's saying and asking if he can come with them. And I'm like, well, apparently now I need to actually learn his name if he becomes part of their crew. I think Frankie is... I think Frankie's a bit annoying, but I'm sure he will grow on me if he goes with them. But then they do get a carpenter, which was what I was trying to say, because he can fix ships. And then we'll actually have someone that can fix the things that break all the time. So it will be perfect. So we are going to chapter 436, Trunks from Frankie House, which is like all his stuff. And also in the last chapter, we did see everyone like shopping in, like Chopper shopped in for medical supplies. Sanji stopped for food, because obviously they need supplies for their next adventure. Okay, so it was not Frankie asked if he could go with them. There was one of the people in Frankie's family who asked if they could take him with them. He always wanted to go, but he would never like leave his duty that he feels he has on Order 7. So they're like, if you want to go, you need to force him. And then we have this weird thing where the Frankie family steals his underwear and there's his only pair. So like he's running around through the whole city try to get his underwear back to lead him to the ship while they're still talking, like thanking him for the ship, etc. And then Luffy in the end says, if you want your trunks back, you have to come with us. So they're like trying to force him to come with them, which I get, but like, I was just thinking about that in live action would be really weird. Chapter 437 is Naked Mania. Is everyone gonna get naked? Okay, so he still also want to go on the ship, and then Nico Robin uses her like arm things to squeeze his ball so he will join them. So I'm like, I guess it's supposed to be funny, but then also it is sexual harassment, assault. So like either way, he's still crying on the floor and doesn't want to go. And then Iceberg comes and is like, go. You are here because of guilt. You need to go out and do your dream or whatever. And then he's like, are you sure you can be without me, to the Frankie family? And they're all like, yes, you were the leader of the underground, but we will help each other without you, and you will always be our boss even though you're not here. And he's crying and he's pretending he's hurting, but Nico Robin is actually not doing anything, but he's just pretending he's hurting so he has an excuse to cry. And then suddenly Zoro and Sanji shows up and is like, yeah, big trouble, Garp is here and it's gonna attack us, we need to leave. And they're like, okay. And then Frankie joins them on the ship, so now they have a new shipwright, which is like, I don't know if I love Frankie, but I'm sure he will grow on me. Nico Robin did, but he's just, his personality is just like, I mean, dude, bro. And I'm like, I'm sure we'll be fine. Yeah, it was a whole speech thing, and now he has joined them. So now we have 438, which is Pride. Okay. They are actually being attacked by Garpanan, who is like throwing cannonballs at them, which goes faster than normal cannonballs. But before that, we actually have a conversation with Sanji and the others, where they're saying that he knows that Usopp is going to come back, and he's practicing like a speech for when he's going to come back. But Sanji says that they shouldn't take him back unless he apologizes, because he quit the crew, which is fine, but he like went against the captain, and if he can't respect the captain, then he can't trust him if he's just gonna like leave like that again and like think it's fine. So he's saying to Luffy that like, while we're super happy he's back, he needs to apologize and he needs to understand what he's did like was not right, because like they need to follow him. And he says that, but if he doesn't confess what he did and tries to sneak back on board as if nothing ever happened, I won't forgive him. And then it's like, the next one will leave is me. And like you, he said also that Luffy's an idiot, but he is the captain. And everyone's like, okay, he's actually correct. So they're leaving. And then Usopp was there almost too late. And he's like at the shore saying like, okay, you guys, I'm back. I know you missed me, etc. I can be your first mate again. And it's really like chill. And they all like pretending they can't hear him. And then like they just keep leaving. And then he is starting to cry and saying he's sorry. I'm sorry I was stubborn. Please forgive me. I want to be with you guys one more time. And then since Luffy now hears this apology, he grabs him with his long arm. And it's now back on the ship, I think, I hope. I mean, did we actually see him go back on the ship? Yes, we did. So it all went fine. And then Garp and them came back to attack them because like things had changed or he got another order or something. So now we have 439, 3rd, and 7. It is so precious. I love them so much. Okay, so now that Usopp is back on ship, they're like, bye, thank you for everything. And apparently the ship's name is Thousand Sunny because like the ship's head looks like a sunflower while it's supposed to be a lion. And they all really like the name. And they're like, bye. And then Garp is like, hello, we're still chasing you. And then Luffy's like, I'm gonna be serious about running away now. And he used this thing in the ship that literally it flies off right before a cannonball hits them. Amazing. Incredible. And then Garp is like, hey, that's my grandson. And then we do, I think we're leaving like this part of the Grand Line and we're going into New World. Because now we got like flashback of the other people we had been with. We see like Iceberg having to take care of like the Frankie family because now they don't know what to do. And he's like, oh, you're new, bro. And he's like, oh. And then we see Vivi and they're like, oh my god, Vivi, your friends were criminals. And she's like, yeah, I know. And they're like, what? And then she's like, he will become the king of the pirates. It's not like the others. So he's saying like goodbye to her. I kind of, and they're all like celebrating on the ship and they're on the way to the underwater paradise. And now we have chapter 440, Fire Fist versus Blackbird, which I think is the last chapter in this. that was the end of Water 7. I mean, I guess there might be a few more chapters to like officially start the other one, but that's how it is. Speaking about seeing other people, saying goodbye, we actually go to every single place, and my heart got very emotional. We go to the Baritier, that I cannot pronounce, restaurant. Everyone is looking at the poster of Sanji and be like, oh, he's out there. He's living his life. We go to Luffy's hometown, where they're all like, oh my god, he really became a pirate. Someone said that that family had been a mess for 3 generations. They wouldn't have happened if Garth had left him alone on this island. Really great work, Garth. We go to Cyber Village, Usopp hometown, and we have, I don't remember her name anymore, the one that was sick. And then she needs to, I got to go back to my medical studies. I have become independent as soon as possible so that I can treat Usopp wounds if he comes back injured. Okay, and then we go to Zoro's hometown, where we have like his s'more master looking after him, and his new students who wants to be pirates. He's like, no, you're not gonna be pirates. We have Nami's village, where they have a huge poster of her, and that she's probably having fun out there. And then we even have Chopper's hometown, where some kids are playing in the snow, and we have, you know, the healer lady saying that Chopper seems to be doing all fine. And then we see Island of Wine Sol Batingo. And then we see Dragon. And he is like, Luffy, there are some times in history when it takes a will such as yours together and chance and coincidence to make people question the world. The day will come when we shall meet, ... So we do see his father for a second. And then we go back to that island 3 days ago that we saw in the end of one of the other chapters with Ace, who's meeting, you know, the people. And it's like, he says, you're a pirate captain now, right? Head of the Blackbird Pirates. But didn't he just work for Whitebeard? But now he says, I used to work with Whitebeards for years. Now he is on his own ship? No, wait. No, wait, sorry. I'm very slow. He's saying to that dude, you're captain now, right? Head of the Blackbird Pirates. Captain Marshall D-Tech. But I'm so confused because why does he have D as his middle name? Because he was the one who gave the scar to Shanks, right? And then he's like, do you want to join me? I'm going to become the king of the pirates. And Ace is like, no. And then they start fighting. So Ace has fire powers, right? But apparently that dude, I don't even remember his name, but a dude that used to work with Whitebeard has also gotten a devil fruit and he had memorized all the shapes. So he got the right fruit that he wanted, and he has shadow powers. So he's made of darkness or darkness powers, I don't know. And then he's like, I'm made of darkness, ha! And then the chapter literally ends. So I'm assuming we might start the next Woolney with a little fight between them. But we are going to the underwater place. And that was the end. Oh my god, I know that this video is like 2 hours long, but like I was trying myself on a like arc video instead of like many small videos. This would have been 4 videos otherwise. I know that the next one is called Thriller Bark. I do own it. It's over there. And I know that that's only 2 omnibuses, so that might be a shorter video. I'm not sure. But I'm done. I'm done. And it was such a ride. I love them so much. I love that we, out of all that, we did eventually get a ship carpenter, shipwreck, ship person. And we got to do so many other things. And yeah, the crew is just going bigger and bigger. I honestly thought that we wouldn't get a member in the crew in every arc, but we mainly haven't. Because in Alabasta, I mean, we got Chopper in that arc, but not on the island. So I guess we got a crew member then too. I don't know, but it's honestly like my heart. It's like, I'm so into the story. It's like one of my favorite things. Every time I hear someone mention One Piece now, I'm like, One Piece? One Piece? One Piece? And I just cannot wait for more. I feel like the next one is 40, volume like 40 something, 46, right? So I feel like I've come so far. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to come so far. I wanted to last forever, but simultaneously catch up because I want to know what's gonna happen. I had such a good time. Water Time was incredible. I know it's a lot of people's favorite arc, and I can clearly see why. But I feel like I can't decide on a favorite until I've seen it all. You know what I mean? Because yeah, but it was a good time. So yeah, thank you so much for watching the longest video in history of the world. Leave a something water down below emoji if you enjoy this, and you should see me soon in a new one for Thriller Bark. Bye.